Golden Age Radio is starting now. Subscribe to get future updates.
Hey everybody, get ready for some great shows. Starting out with Cavalcade of America, Lux Theater with some great Hollywood stars, Groucho Marx, one of the best comedians in history, and also followed by the hilarious Red Skelton.
The Cavalcade of America, presented by DuPont. This evening, the Cavalcade of America, presented by DuPont, brings you a story which we have called Yankee Independence, the story of Connecticut's famed Charter Oak. It begins 242 years ago, and the crude buildings, implements, and other so-called conveniences of that era are indeed a far cry from those we all take for granted today. For America has progressed even more amazingly than many of us realize. Modern transportation has made the nation a neighborhood. The achievements of engineers, scientists, medical men, and countless others have been a tremendous impetus in our forward march. And in step with each phase of our progress has been the research chemist. He has created scores of new products, some of which have founded whole new industries. He has improved existing products that they may serve us better. And he faces a new year eager to break new trails, to contribute new ideas and products, to continue to provide, as DuPont phrases it, better things for better living through chemistry. As our overture, Don Voorhees and the Cavalcade Orchestra play a special setting of the ever-popular Poor Butterfly.
facts of the story of the Charter Oak are clouded in legend, but many believe that the main events were substantially as we present them this evening. New England was colonized by people who put self-government above all other ideals. Although officially under the rule of the British Crown, extensive rights and privileges were given to the colonists by their charters. Connecticut people in particular came to regard their colony's charter as the symbol of its freedom, and they would sooner have parted with their possessions, their homes, or even their lives. But in 1686, the Privy Council in England decided to join all New England under one government and appointed Sir Edmund Andros governor of the United Province. The story of Connecticut's determined effort to keep its identity and to protect its charter is one that has become a New England legend. Let us turn back to June in the year 1687 at the Meeting House in Hartford. The General Court of the colony is being called to order by the governor, Robert Treat.
Gentlemen, I have called you here to consider a matter of grave importance to the life of this colony. For over 25 years, we've had a charter that has allowed us the rights of self-government. The charter has granted us all the territory westward, and our colony has grown and will continue to prosper with that charter as a safeguard of our rights. Now, His Majesty has appointed a governor who is to have supreme power over all New England.
Your Excellency.
Yes, Captain Wadsworth?
Let us not submit. Let us appeal to the Privy Council. We still have our rights under the Charter.
Gentlemen, it is useless. When His Majesty orders us to submit, we must submit, or be in rebellion. I was informed this very morning that an officer of Governor Andros is on his way here to take over the government of the colony.
Then what can we do, sir?
We can submit. Indeed, we must submit to the rule of Governor Andros. But, gentlemen, we must not relinquish our charter.
They must save our charter.
But how? That's what I have called you here to consider. How can we save the charter?
Just don't give it up.
But, gentlemen, it is in my possession. And if I'm ordered to give it up and refuse, I shall be disobedient to His Majesty.
Your Excellency.
Yes, Captain Wadsworth?
If the Charter were not in your possession, you couldn't give it up.
True. But it is, Captain.
Then, sir, I move you that this assembly forthwith take it out of your possession and entrust it to a committee for safekeeping.
Yes, that is possible.
Second the motion.
You have heard the proposal. Those favoring?
Aye.
Opposed? It is so ordered. May I hear proposals for the members of the committee?
Your Excellency, I propose Captain Wadsworth, Charles Willis, and John Talcott.
But Talcott is not here.
All the better, sir, since we cannot give up the Charter except upon unanimous consent of the committee.
A very good arrangement. Is there a second to the nominations for the Charter Committee?
Second.
Very well. Then don't open the door until we have voted. All favoring?
Aye.
Opposed?
Open in the name of the King.
It is so ordered.
Open, I say. Open in the name of the King.
Captain Wadsworth, I deliver this charter into your hands for safekeeping.
We'll keep it, sir, never fear.
Doorkeeper, open the door.
Yes, sir. What's the meaning of this, sir? Why was I locked out?
Your pardon, sir. But what authority have you to break into the assembly of the General Court of Connecticut?
I've come to take over the government of this colony under the authority of Governor Andros.
Indeed. And who are you, if we may be permitted to know?
Of course. I am Samuel Bligh. I have the honor to be colonel in His Majesty's service. Are you Robert Treat?
I am.
Here are your orders.
Thank you, sir. Hereby ordered. Yes. In compliance with the mandate of His Majesty. Yes, indeed. Colonel Bligh, we are ready to turn the government over to Governor Andros.
Then, sir, you will deliver up the charter to me.
Sir?
The charter. Read the rest of the order.
Governor Treat is hereby ordered to deliver up the forfeited charter. But, Colonel Bligh, I cannot deliver up the charter.
Why not?
Because, sir, it is not in my possession. It has been entrusted by the General Court to a special committee.
Indeed. And who comprises the committee?
The clerk will read the names of the committee.
May it please you, sir. The committee consists of Captain Wadsworth, Charles Willis, and John Talcott.
Are any of those men here?
Yes, sir. I am Captain Wadsworth.
Captain Wadsworth, I order you to deliver up the charter to me.
Oh, yes. And have you an order for it there?
Indeed I have. Governor Treat has just read it.
May I be allowed to see it?
Of course. Governor Treat, will you let this gentleman read the order and be satisfied?
Certainly.
Thank you, Governor. Oh, yes, indeed. Governor Treat is hereby ordered. But, Colonel, this is an order upon Governor Treat.
Of course. Now, are you satisfied?
Well, I am deeply sorry, sir. I do not see how the committee can comply with this order.
Oh, why not, pray? Is it not properly signed and sealed?
Oh, yes, signed properly. But it is drawn against the governor and not against the Charter Committee.
What? This is too much. Governor Andros warned me that you'd be stubborn and stiff-necked, but I'll have the charter. Here, I'll change that order. Give it here.
Here you are, sir.
Yes, a quill. So, the Charter Committee is hereby ordered. Well, now I hope you're satisfied.
Are you satisfied with this, Governor?
Does this not seem to be a forgery, Captain Wadsworth?
It not only seems to be, sir, but it is. I saw him make an illegal change in the order. All of us saw it.
I should say that the change invalidated the whole order.
What? Are you trying to put me in wrong?
Not at all, sir. You put yourself in the wrong.
But you forced me to make that change in the order.
I believe, Colonel, we merely pointed out that your order was inadequate. We did not force you to commit forgery.
This is a trick. A trick, I say. I demand the immediate surrender of the government and the charter.
What is the will of the Assembly? Can we deliver up the government under an order that is obviously forged? All those in favor, say aye. Contrary?
No.
The vote is against you, Colonel.
Andros himself will come and attend to this affair. I wash my hands of it. He'll make you pay for this day's work, and he'll get the charter.
Andros came as Colonel Bligh had threatened, though not for several months. But when he did come, he came in state with a company of soldiers, 2 trumpeters, and Colonel Bligh. He intended this time to get the charter and no mistake. On the evening of October 31st, 1687, the sexton of the State House is preparing the assembly room for the meeting of the General Court, its last meeting under the old charter, when the door opens and Captain Wadsworth enters, accompanied by Master Allen, the clerk of the court.
Oh, good evening to you, Nathan.
Evening, Captain Wadsworth. Even Master Allen.
Good evening, Nathan. Is everything in readiness?
I was just making ready to put the candles about. Then all will be ready, sir.
Just a minute, Nathan.
Aye, Captain.
I think you'd best put them all on the governor's table.
The governor's table? Aye, sir. So, one here and one here.
No, Nathan. Put them all together at this end of the table.
This end by the window, Master Allen?
I think that would be best, don't you, Captain?
Oh, of course. The governor needs a great deal of light.
But, sir, the draft from the window, it may blow them out.
Well, if it does, Nathan, we'll just have to light them again.
Very good, sir. Very good.
Now, Allen, seeing that you're the clerk, you can sit at the governor's table without exciting suspicion.
Aye, Captain.
Best put your chair next to the window.
Ah.
There. That's right.
Have you the charter with you?
Yes, and when Andros demands it, I'll produce it.
Andros must not be allowed to get his hands on it.
That will be your duty. Willis will be waiting outside the window, next to your chair. When the candles go out, take the charter, toss it out the window. He'll put it in a safe place.
Will any place in Hartford or even Connecticut be safe from Andros if he makes up his mind to find it?
That will be our responsibility. Nathan.
Aye, Captain.
Good fire you have there.
Aye, Captain.
It may become too warm when the assembly gets here.
If you think it's too much, Captain.
No. But stand near a window, so if there's a call for air, you can throw open the window.
This window, sir?
No, I think it'll be better to stand beside the window here, by Master Allen's chair.
Aye, sir.
And don't leave it. And the moment I say, Sexton, it's warm in here, throw open the window.
Aye, sir, but the breeze may blow the candles out. They're that close to the window.
Never mind the candles.
Never mind them, aye, sir.
Here comes Andros with Governor Treat. Throw open the door.
Never mind, Nathan, I'll do it. You stay by that window.
The window, yeah, aye, sir.
Governor Andros. Enter, sir.
Thank you, sir. Governor Treat, I now call you that for the last time.
show me to my place?
Of course, sir. Captain Wadsworth, will you usher us to our places?
Right this way, Governor Andrus, and Governor Treat. We have arranged this place for you.
Yes.
Thank you, Captain. Do we need all the candles here?
They're for you, sir, and the clock.
Yes, of course. Oh, Treat.
All right.
You sit on my left.
Thank you, sir.
Will you call the assembly to order, please?
Yes, indeed, I see. The assembly will be in order. Quiet. In accordance with the command of His Majesty, we are met here to surrender the government of the Connecticut colony to the Royal Governor, Sir Edmund Andros. On behalf of this assembly, I have the honor, sir, to welcome you and assure you of our submission to His Majesty's command. We have ever been a loyal and law-abiding people. We surrender the prerogatives of government under our charter with regret. But His Majesty commands, and we, His loyal subjects, have naught to do but obey. We are, sir, yours to command.
Thank you, Master Treat. I am agreeably pleased at the expression of obedience. In the name of His Majesty, I hereby take command of the colony of Connecticut and order it joined to the colony of Massachusetts Bay, of which you shall be henceforth a part. Now you have only to surrender the charter to me to complete the ceremony of submission to the order of His Majesty.
Captain Wadsworth,
Yes, sir?
will you place the charter on the table?
Certainly. Here it is, sir.
At last.
One moment, may it please Your Excellency.
What now?
Will you first sign the receipt for the charter so that the
Receipt?
committee may be protected?
Why, certainly, if you wish. No matter, but I'll do it. Will you give me your quill, Clark?
Here you are, sir, and paper.
Yes. Received. Charter. Signed.
Oh, Sexton, it's warm in here.
Aye, sir. What? I see. The lights! Quick, what's happened? The lights! Who blew out those candles? Close that window. What are you trying to do?
It's as warm in here, sir.
Close that window, I say.
Certainly. Close the window, Sexton.
Candles! Light the candle, Sexton. Hurry now. What foolishness is this? We can't see Light those candles.
Aye, sir, at once, sir.
The candles! Light the candles!
Aye, sir. As soon as I find my flint. Yes, here it is. Right sorry I put you out, sir. I didn't think that...
Fool! Now, Treat. Hand me the charter.
The charter? Why, sir, you had it.
What? Had it? What are you talking about?
Why, sir, I saw you reach for it just as the lights went out.
But indeed, I did not. Give it to me.
Why, I swear, sir.
Captain
that...
Wadsworth,
Yes, sir?
give me the charter.
But, sir, I gave it to you.
You did not.
But I have here your receipt for it.
Give me back that receipt.
That is impossible, sir. I gave you the charter. You gave me this receipt for it.
What?
Why, I have here 20 witnesses to the transaction.
I'm being tricked. I say I will have that charter. It's somewhere here, and I'll have it. Colonel Bly.
Yes, sir.
Surround this place with your soldiers. Don't let a single man leave until he's been searched.
Yes, sir.
This is illegal. You have no search warrant.
I'll do it whether it's illegal or not. I'll have that charter, I tell you. I have to search every spot in this town. Colonel, search every man here.
Yes, sir.
And so the great search began. All that night and into the next day, the governor, the colonel, and their soldiers searched high and low for the missing charter. At last they came to the house of Charles Willis, a member of the committee.
Who lives here?
This is the home of Charles Willis.
Oh, indeed. One of the charter committee, eh?
Yes, sir.
Good. Search this place inside out, Colonel Bly. Don't leave a thing unturned.
Very good, sir. Search this place, Captain, thoroughly. Yes, sir. Tear up the floor. Dig up that guard. Lift the upholstery off the furniture. But find that charter.
Yes, sir. Run for us. Follow me. Go on. Bring out the mouse through the house. We'll make him talk.
Sir, I protest again.
Protest all you like.
You have no right to treat the members of the General Court as you have been treating us for the last 12 hours.
No.
We do not propose to be held in custody any longer without due legal process. We demand to be taken before a magistrate.
Right. That's you stay just where you are. Every one of you. Till I get my hands on that charter.
You had it. That's all we know. If you lost it, it's your fault, not ours.
Silence.
Here's the master of the house, sir.
Indeed. So you're Master Willis?
I am, sir.
Where is the charter?
Your pardon, sir, but how should I know?
You were a member of the charter committee, were you not?
I was,
Then
sir.
where is it?
Well, I could not attend last evening's session of the General Court.
So I see. Oh, you would have been in my custody long ago with your friends and fellow conspirators here.
Well, I seem to be with them now.
You are, and you'll continue in custody until I lay my hand on that charter.
Oh, the charter, yes, but I thought that it had been...
Say nothing, quiet.
What's this? You know something about it, eh?
Why, of course, sir. All of these gentlemen... What are you doing?
Quiet. Well, now. At last I found a reasonable man.
Oh, Your Excellency.
Tell me what you know, and you'll be suitably rewarded.
Well, I'm surprised at all this mystery.
Yeah, go on.
The charter was placed
Come.
in your hands last night.
Shut up, you don't tell me where that charter is, I'll...
What then, sir?
Do you see this oak tree?
My own tree, sir. I've seen it often.
I'll have you strung up in it, sir. That's what I'll do.
I should hate to have such a fine tree perverted to such a purpose, sir.
You would, Colonel Bligh.
Yes, Governor.
Send me half a dozen soldiers and a stout rope.
Yes, sir.
Now,
All in.
perhaps we'll get something from you. You tell me where the charter is, or will you be hanged by your thumbs from that stout limb up there until you are ready to tell?
Governor Andrews, I fear you've forgotten yourself in your rage. Master Willis is entitled to trial before any such punishment can be meted out to him.
Silence, or I'll have you strung up with him. Gad, sir, I'll fill this oak tree with stiff-necked, rebellious Connecticut men, where I'll have that charter.
Here are your men, sir. Here's your rope.
Good. One of you climb that oak tree. Here, you, Sergeant.
Aye, sir.
Give him a hand there.
Come on.
The men found anything in the house, Colonel?
Not a thing, sir.
We told you so.
that, sir.
One moment, Governor.
Captain Wadsworth. Have you something to say?
I have.
Speak out.
Tell that soldier to come down from that tree, and I'll tell you.
All right. Sergeant, come down. Thought we'd frightened something out of you. Well, Captain?
Sir, you have lost the charter. That's clear. You also have given us your receipt for it. Therefore, you should have it.
And I intend to have it.
You can't. I assure you of that. But here is what I propose. The committee is willing to turn over the receipt to you if you will stop this foolish and destructive search for something you never can find.
Never. Sergeant, go up that tree again.
Yes, sir.
We'll string all these fellows up.
Very good, sir.
Can't do this.
Very well, then. But, sir, when you report to the Privy Council that you did not get the charter, and when we produce your signed receipt for it, I fear that you will look very foolish.
Indeed, Governor. How will you explain that to the king?
What do you mean?
His Majesty might even be led to doubt the word of one of his trusted officers.
Oh, right. Very well. Give me the receipt. After all, your charter will do you no good. It's revoked.
Exactly. That's a very sensible view to take, Governor Andrews. I congratulate you.
And here is the receipt, sir. Oh, you're very welcome, sir.
Colonel Bligh.
Yes, sir.
Draw up your company and prepare to return to Boston.
Yes, sir. Come down out of the tree, Sergeant. Company! And sent! Quick, set!
My congratulations, Captain Wadsworth. A good bargain.
Indeed it was. Another moment and the sergeant could have put his hand on that charter.
I don't understand.
Our good friend Willis had it concealed in a hollow, high up in that oak tree.
By saving the charter, Connecticut preserved her claim to separate government. And in 1694, the Privy Council, under a new sovereign, decided that the charter was again in full legal force. It served as the fundamental order of Connecticut government down to the Revolution and until 1818, when a new state constitution superseded it. The oak in which the charter was so well hidden was called from that time the Charter Oak. It stood until August 21st, 1850, when age and time took their toll. At sunset of that day, the bells of Hartford tolled, and mourning was displayed for the historic old tree. The spirit of the Charter Oak still lives in our hearts and serves as a symbol of the rights and privileges of American independence.
As the old year draws to a close, America faces the new year with optimism and sleeves rolled up. Here are some figures that show how new life has come to our mines and forests, our farms and cities. During the year just closing, the United States put approximately 335 million pounds of dynamite and other commercial explosives to work. 80 million pounds more than in 1935, and 5 times the entire amount used in 7 years of building the Panama Canal. These figures are important because, like the statistics on steel production, they are an index of activity in many lines. But figures alone do not tell the whole story of what these products of chemical research mean to the average person. Because dynamite and other blasting agents usually do their work far from the crowded centers of population, many of us forget what an essential part they play in bringing us our food, our shelter, even our clothing. Perhaps the first thing that greeted you this morning was the alarm clock. The metal in this contrivance was obtained with the use of commercial explosives. As you step into a steaming shower, you may thank dynamite for making possible a constant supply of pure water, even for the coal or oil used to heat the water and warm the house. As you sit down to the breakfast table, you may realize that a number of the foods you eat come from farms cleared of stumps and boulders or drained by the use of explosives. And the same is true of the plantations that produce cotton for clothing and other purposes. The stone and metals and wood that comprise your home were wrested from their natural setting by the power of dynamite. And in the car or train that takes you into town, we find other examples of its work. Indeed, many of the comforts and conveniences we enjoy every day would be impossible without commercial explosives. Our bridges and tunnels, harbors and canals, huge skyscrapers and smooth highways are monuments to the amazing usefulness of these chemical products. So as you go about the country, you can find explosives at work on every hand, coal and metals being mined, roads being built, dams going up, stone being quarried. Evidence on all sides that America is again on the march forward. Evidence, too, of the chemist's contributions in producing better things for better living through chemistry. Winning prestige for the American stage, the story of Joseph Jefferson will be the subject of our broadcast next week. With the passing of the old year, we of DuPont wish you all a very happy New Year. Columbia Broadcasting System.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR, brought to you by G3PL.com.
From Hollywood, California, the Lux Radio Theater presents Bob Burns in Clarence with Gail Patrick and Thomas Mitchell.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, may I welcome you to your Lux Radio Theater. For it is your loyalty to Lux Toilet Soap and Lux Flakes that makes this program possible. We want you to know that we sincerely appreciate your enthusiasm for our products. Tonight, Lux Toilet Soap, the beauty soap of the stars, brings you Bob Burns, Gail Patrick, Thomas Mitchell, Johnny Downs, Jane Bryan, and Eileen Pringle in that great comedy, Clarence. And as special guests, Mr. Tom English, mayor of Bob Burns' hometown, Van Buren, Arkansas, and Mrs. Tay Garnett, Hollywood's only movie camera woman. Louis Silvers conducts our orchestra. And here, back in Hollywood, is the producer of the Lux Radio Theater. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille. Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. One afternoon many years ago, the peace and serenity of the pretty country town of Van Buren, Arkansas, was shattered by a mysterious roar and trumpeting, a fearful sound that sent the startled inhabitants flying into the streets. Frantic phone calls poured into the sheriff's office, and then a handful of brave souls banded together and traced it to Hayman's plumbing shop. There in the backyard stood young Mr. Bob Burns, demonstrating the natural result of close cooperation between a length of gas pipe, an old funnel, and a pair of robust lungs. People called it bedlam. Bob called it a bazooka. Years passed before the world took to its bosom the bazooka and its creator. Years during which Bob became a peanut farmer, grew hay for a living, and was a civil engineer in Salt Lake City. To further delay his career, they started a war, and the United States Marines claimed his services. But back he came with his homespun tales and his homemade bazooka, back at long last to his unique position as the country's leading storyteller, the hillbilly Baron Munchausen, the Pied Piper of Van Buren. Currently seen in Wells Fargo, Bob comes to us tonight in the title role of our radio adaptation of another Paramount film, Clarence, based on the celebrated comedy by Booth Tarkington. Paramount also gives us our leading lady, Gail Patrick, that statuesque black-haired beauty from Birmingham, Alabama. One of the most popular of our newer stars, Gail is now making Mad About Music for Universal Studios, and her new Paramount film is Dangerous to Know. In our play, she's heard as Violet Pinney. The part of Henry Wheeler is played by Thomas Mitchell, actor, playwright, director, and producer, recently featured in such hit films as Lost Horizon and Hurricane. Jane Bryan, young Warner Brothers starlet, is heard as Cora. Johnny Downs of Paramount is Bobby, and Eileen Pringle returns to our stage as Mrs. Wheeler. And now, curtain time. The Lux Radio Theater presents Bob Burns in Clarence with Gail Patrick and Thomas Mitchell. A railroad station in the fashionable suburb of Elmwood. The 6:15 train from New York has just deposited its homebound troop of commuters. Among them, Mr. Henry D. Wheeler, one of the town's most solid citizens. Mr. Wheeler walks quickly toward the taxi line and addresses a gangling fellow in an army uniform who leans casually against the first cab.
Taxi! Taxi! Valley Boulevard. Well, don't stand there looking at me. I said Valley Boulevard.
I kind of thought you was talking to me.
Oh, smart Alec, huh? Well, take me to Valley Boulevard. Do you know where it is?
No, sir, I don't.
Well, get going. I'll tell you where to turn.
But I don't think
You don't have to think. Just drive.
Now, I like to be accommodating.
Are you taking me to Valley Boulevard, or do I get in there and drive it myself?
Well, no, I wouldn't want you to do that.
Then hurry up. I've got to get home sometime tonight.
Well, if you think it's all right, I'd be glad to take you to Valley Boulevard, but it just don't seem like the thing to do.
Turn to your right at the next corner. That's Valley Boulevard.
Yes, sir. Say, that car in back's been following us for some time. Ain't that a policeman on the running board?
No, what if it is if he likes to ride that way? That's his business. Besides, I know every cop in town.
I guess maybe you do, 'cause he's waving at you now.
Just stop up there beyond the street lamp.
Yes, sir. You know, I believe that policeman wants to talk to you. Yes, sir, I'm pretty sure he does. Now, this the house?
Yeah. Hey, you didn't even set your meter. Well, how much do I owe you?
Nothing.
What's that?
You don't owe me anything. This ain't my taxi cab.
Oh, whose is it?
I don't know.
Hey, you two!
That's it. And that funny-looking guy's the one that pinched me cab.
There we are, both of you!
Of course I'll stay where I am. It's my house, isn't it? Oh, good evening, Sergeant.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Wheeler.
What about me cab, wise guy?
Well, there's been some mistake, boys. I thought the cab belonged to this gentleman, and I ordered him to drive it.
Where do you get off at telling him to drive my hat?
Well, I'm very sorry, and look, here's $10. Now that ought to take care of everything.
Yes, I think that's pretty fair.
Oh, you do you? Would you mind, Sergeant, if I kind of hanged one on his snozzle, or just one?
Get going. Mr. Wheeler said it was a mistake. Take your $10 and get your cab out of here.
All right. Cossack.
What's that?
I said thanks.
And thank you, Sergeant.
Sorry to have detained you, Mr. Wheeler. Good night, sir.
Good night. Now, what about you?
Me?
Why did you drive that car if you didn't own it?
Well, you said you'd drive it yourself.
You were leaning against it, weren't you?
That's my liver.
What do you mean, liver? Will you please talk sense?
Well, it just kind of felt good leaning against the car that way. You see, if I lean against anything any lower, it kind of catches me in the liver. You see, when I was in the Army,
so that accounts for the uniform you got on. Oh, go on. So you were in the service?
Yes, I was. I drove mules.
Mules, eh? What's your name?
It's Clarence.
What?
Clarence.
What? Hey, that's an odd name.
Well, now, that's awfully nice of you to say so.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Wheeler.
Good evening, Miss Penny. Going out?
It's the hot water heater. It's out of order again. I was just running next door to see if...
Oh, this is Clarence.
Oh, is he a plumber?
Plumber? Now, where was I to find a plumber?
I ain't a taxi driver either.
Oh, I beg your pardon. I thought... Why, you're a soldier.
Well, no, I'm not a soldier either.
He used to drive mules in the Army.
Oh.
But if that hot water heater's giving you any trouble, I may be able to fix it up.
If you're interested in picking up a few dollars...
Why, I sure would be glad to. You see, till I get a letter I'm expecting from
All right. See what you can do with the darn thing. Miss Penny, will you show him where it is?
Certainly. If you'll just come with me, Mr.
Oh, just call me Clarence. This sure is a right pretty house here. Well, I guess the first thing to do is test the water flow in the bathtub.
Which one?
How many you got?
7.
7 bathrooms? For goodness sake.
Well, there are 7 bathrooms, and I suppose you'll have to look at them all. There's one for Mr. Wheeler, and another for Mrs. Wheeler, and for Bobby Wheeler, and Cora Wheeler, and for Della, and for me, and for...
Miss Penny, just what do you do here, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, I don't see what... Oh, well, I'm supposed to be Cora's companion, but I'm sick and tired of this whole household. If I didn't feel so sorry for Mr. Wheeler, I would have left long ago. It's the maddest house I've ever seen, and you seem to fit right into it.
Me?
Yes, and that makes everything just dandy. Oh, now, there's Bobby's room. If you ask him very nicely, he may show you where the bathroom is.
Well, I declare.
Hi, Ed.
Hello. I guess you're Bobby.
Oh, yes, sir. Won't you come in?
Thank you. Where's the bathroom?
Right in there. Did you see my father?
Oh, yes. I rode from the station with him.
Well, what did you decide?
Why, we decided to fix the hot water heater.
Well, aren't you from the military academy?
Me? I guess I'm too old to be going to military academy. That's for youngsters.
Sure it is. Why, for a fellow who's going on 18, it's silly. That's what I've been trying to tell you, old man. Say, what are you doing here anyway?
Well, I came to test the water pressure in the bathroom.
In that outfit? That's a uniform.
Maybe it is, but it's the only suit I got.
Oh. Well, here's the bathroom in here. What's the milk bottle for?
To measure the water.
Measure the water?
That's right. Now watch it. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi,
Hey,
4
what
Mississippi,
goes anyway?
5 Mississippi, 6
What's the Mississippi River got to do with our water?
7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi. Exactly right. I guess you think I'm crazy.
Aren't you?
No. If the water pressure is right, a quart bottle fills up in exactly 10 seconds. That's the way you count when you haven't got to watch to time it.
Say, you learn a lot of things in the Army, don't you? Were you an engineer?
Nope, I drove mules.
Oh, but soldiers get around a lot, don't they?
Sometimes.
I mean, soldiers know plenty about women and things.
Oh, you're thinking of the Marines.
No. No, you can tell me what I want to know, I guess.
Well, I'll try.
Well, do you think when a man's taken advantage of a woman's inexperience and kissed her and kind of mentioned he was kind of nuts about her, that he's got to go ahead and marry her, even if he's in love with somebody else?
Does she think you ought to marry her?
Well, how'd you know it was me?
Oh, just a shot in the dark.
Well, you're right. It is me. She says if I don't, she'll tell the whole family unless I marry her or pay her damages or run away or something. Gosh, what would you do?
I guess I'd go to military school. Education's pretty important.
Well, so's marriage, the way I look at it. Like I said to Miss Penny.
Miss Penny, the girl you kissed?
Oh, no. I wish it was. She's the one I'm planning to marry.
Isn't she just a little older than you?
What difference does that make? Nothing makes any difference when you're in love.
No. Now about those other bathrooms.
Bathrooms? That's a fine thing to talk about now. Well, all right. Come on, I'll show you Cora's room. It's down this hall.
Cora, that's your sister?
That's my pain in the neck, you mean. She's on a hunger strike.
Hunger strike?
Yeah, because the old man won't let her see her boyfriend.
Well, now, ain't that a shame?
Huh, you should see her boyfriend. Well, here's her room.
Wait a minute. Hadn't you better knock?
Shh. Oh! Ha! I knew it. So you're eating, huh?
I am not eating.
Fine kind of a hunger strike you're on. I saw you swallow when we came in. Go on a hunger strike and don't even last one day.
All right. Go ahead. Tell everybody. Tell the whole family. Tell all the neighbors. Just you go ahead and tell, and I'll tell something on you.
You don't know anything on me, too, tell.
I'll tell Dad you have a spats on.
They're not a spats.
They are, too.
Prove it.
Well, sure, I'll prove it if you... Oh. Oh, who's this man?
Well, if you'd pipe down, I'd tell you.
I'm awfully sorry you had to hear all this, officer. My brother here, he's such a child. You must think we're awful arguing in front of you without even being introduced.
Oh, that's all right. Sort of makes me feel at home.
I see you're an Army officer.
Well, I drove mules.
Oh, how interesting. Won't you be seated, Mr... Oh, I don't know your name. Bobby's just at that age when it embarrasses him to introduce people.
Well, I'm afraid Bobby don't know my name either. It's Clarence. Clarence.
Boy, who pinned that one on you?
I think Clarence is a lovely name.
Well, thank you. I always thought Mom and Papa done the best they could for me.
Clarence. That's an English name, isn't it? Are you English?
No, don't think so.
Well, don't you know? Where were you brought up?
I was brought up with some cannibals.
Cannibals?
Gosh, didn't they ever try to...
No, they never even nibbled at me. In fact, when I was a baby, they wouldn't even let me chew on my own thumb.
Well, what about your parents? Were they, eating?
No. They's kind of fond of all of us. Besides, none of my kin folks ever had much meat on them. Now, if you'll excuse me, I better get inside here and have a look at your bathroom.
Who is it? Your father wants to see you, Cora. Well, tell him I'm not in.
You'll be more respectful in your tone to Violet.
Oh, so it's Violet now. Since when do you call Miss Penny Violet?
Be quiet, both of you. Cora, your father wants to see you. Are you coming downstairs or not?
No, I'm not. And you can tell my father I'm not going to eat a thing until he learns to keep out of my affairs. I'll starve to death before I'll let him destroy the most beautiful thing that ever came into my life.
Huh, you mean old satchel-face Tobias?
You call him Mr. Tobias, you...
He's old enough to be your father.
You shush your mouth.
Cora, I'll ask you once more to please come downstairs. Very well.
You're going to get in trouble talking like that.
I'm not. She is.
What do you mean?
Because our darling stepmother happens to think Miss Penny's much too young and pretty.
Of course she's young and pretty. She's beautiful.
And you're not the only one who thinks so. Why do you suppose Mother wishes to send Penny and me to Europe? To get rid of her, that's why.
Oh, on account of me, huh?
On account of Dad.
Him? She wouldn't even look at him. He's old enough to be our father.
He is our father, stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I found the trouble.
You have to go around finding trouble. We got plenty as it is.
Cora. Oh, Cora, dear.
Our dear stepmother. Drip, drip, drip.
Cora, dear.
Hello.
Cora, your father is very much upset. Don't you think you'd better come down and have a talk with him?
I don't ever want to talk to him again.
When you act like this, it reflects upon me. Oh, I do try to bring you up properly.
Oh, don't let it get you down. You know we love you.
Thank you, Bobby. I don't mind your problems. You've quarreled. It's only that I feel sort of left out of them.
Turn around. We have company. I'm sorry, Mr. Wheeler, but I asked her 3 times.
Where is she? Where is
Father, if you say one word to me, I'll jump out of this window.
Go ahead, Dad. Dare.
Cora, I'll give you exactly 5 seconds to begin acting like a human being.
Well, don't you think it's human to love?
I've got good reasons for forbidding you to see this Mr.
Tobias, old Sanctum mouth.
He's just a fortune hunter. No, what's the use? Miss Penny, will you please get her out of here? Take her to my study.
No, don't let her, Mother. Please don't let her.
You see, Miss Penny, she seems to turn to me instead of you. Seems rather strange considering the father's preference.
Now, Minnie, don't you start.
Well, I found it, Mr. Wheeler. The trouble, I mean. From now on, there'll be plenty of hot water around here for everybody. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Hey, wait a minute. Looking for a job, aren't you?
Well, till I hear from the lab...
Know anything about gardening? About taking care of a car?
Now, when I enlisted for the second time...
And you used to drive mules?
Well, that is when we were...
When you used to drive mules, did you lose your temper?
Oh, no, sir, I never did. You can't get any place with a mule losing your temper. I had one mule that used to kick me plumb across the barn every morning.
Why didn't you take a club to him?
Well, I would have, only I was afraid it might make him mean.
I see. Now, if you can handle a mule like that and still keep your temper, there's a place for you in this family. Want the job?
Well, Father's talking to you, Clarence, not Miss Penny.
Well, do you?
Huh? Oh, yeah, thanks.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. I was just having some breakfast, Miss Penny.
That, I should say, is quite obvious.
I got to keep my strength to go to work.
You certainly picked a nice place for it. I've been working here 6 months. If I stay any longer, I'll be getting like the rest of them.
Yeah, but in spite of everything, I bet you'd hate to leave those two kids, now wouldn't you? Bobby and Cora.
Hate to? Oh, well, yes, I guess I would at that.
I imagine they'd hate to see you go, too.
Why?
Well, you seem like the sort of person that people would like.
You learned some very pretty language in the Army, don't you?
Well, I guess you haven't been around soldiers much.
No, I'm afraid I haven't. Will you excuse me now, Mr.
Oh, they all call me Clarence.
All right, Clarence.
And they call me Adela.
Oh, good morning. Here, I can bring the dishes inside.
Indeed, you won't. That's my job around here. I get paid for doing that.
Della, did you see those tools I brought in here this morning?
We'll put them in the kitchen. I'll bring them right in.
I thought I'd tune the piano. I noticed one or two of the keys is off.
It isn't the piano that's off in this house. It's the people that play it.
Hey, is she gone?
Oh, it's you. Is who gone?
Della, the maid, of course. Who'd you think I meant?
Well, I didn't know Miss Penny was just here, too.
Honest? Where was she sitting?
Over there.
Oh, yeah. The chair's still warm. Gosh.
That's where your papa sat.
Oh.
Say, why did you ask about Della?
Why? Because she's the one I kissed. She's the one I got to marry or something.
Oh.
Gosh, look, Clarence, I've been thinking. Do you consider the Army the best preparation for the afterlife?
Well, if there's a war, the afterlife is what you're liable to get in the Army.
I mean the afterlife after you get married. You see, I don't think I'll go back to military school. I'm going to get married and then go to Yale.
I'd think twice before doing that.
You would?
Yep, that's a mighty important step to take. Mighty important. Choosing the right college. Well, I guess I'll get after that piano.
Bobby, I wish you would... Oh, it's you.
That's right, Miss Penny. I was just tuning the piano.
Well, go ahead. Goodness knows it needs it.
Thank you. That's what I figured. B flat, B flat, B flat. B flat, B flat. There's a man at the French door. B flat, B flat. C sharp, C sharp. He says it's Hubert. B flat.
It's Mr. Tobias. I suppose I'll have to let him in.
D natural.
Oh, good morning, Miss Penny.
Good morning.
Is Cora down? We were to go riding, you know.
Mr. Wheeler said if you called, I was to talk with you.
Oh.
Mr. Wheeler very plainly suggests you never come here again.
Oh, and if I do, I'm to be thrown out?
You'd like that, wouldn't you? So you can sue. That would be a much simpler way of getting at the Wheeler money than by marrying Cora.
Oh, so that's all you think I'm interested in, the Wheeler money.
Exactly. Goodbye, Mr. Tobias.
I think I'll wait, if you don't mind, and see what Cora has to say about it. Oh, who is
B
that?
flat, B flat, B flat.
Oh, Cora, my dear.
Oh, Hubert.
Oh, Cora.
I'm sorry. I'm late for our ride. I guess I overslept.
Only you could look so beautiful at this hour in the morning.
Oh.
B flat, B flat.
What's he doing here?
I believe your father asked him to tune it, and he also asked you not to see Mr. Tobias again.
I don't care what he said. He can't tear down that which we've built up, can he, Hubert?
No, my dear, never.
No.
Just a little sour.
You could have the decency, Miss Penny, to leave this room and take that piano tuner with you.
Hey, let me in. This screen door's locked.
But, Hubert, I'm not dressed to go.
Well, we can't have any privacy here. That's apparent. Oh, I'll call you later, Cora.
Come in, Bobby. May I hold the door for you, Mr. Tobias?
They're all just trying to keep us apart, Hubert.
Cora, you'll just have to choose between...
Look out for the door!
Oh, you slammed the door on his head.
Gosh, it just slipped out of my fingers.
You've killed him. Oh, Hubert, speak to me.
Doors are apt to slip out of one's fingers, of course. Nice work, Clarence.
But he's unconscious. Hubert.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
It slipped. If I'd have known it had such a strong spring, why, it hit him right on the head.
Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10 Mississippi, he's out.
Gosh, that door's got the right pressure, too.
I'm coming. Is it you, Denny?
Yes, sure, it's me.
Well, it's about time. I've been waiting for these groceries all afternoon. Well, set them down.
And I've been waiting for something, too.
You mean about the kid?
Yeah, it's about time you did something.
I've got him good and scared now. I told him he wouldn't have to marry me if he could get $500.
$500?
Mm-hmm.
I told you at least $1,000.
I'm playing safe. Now, with this Clarence guy around,
From what you told me, that Clarence Snoop wouldn't know until tomorrow that yesterday was Tuesday. You know, if I thought he was really wise, I'd fix him right.
Yeah, and do a stretch for it. Let me handle this. I know what I'm doing.
And so do I. Listen, we're going to get our hands on some real dough in a hurry and scram.
Beat it now. I've got to answer the front door. It's probably Mr. Wheeler.
I'll answer it, Della.
Oh, all right, Clarence.
Say, if he's heard us...
He didn't hear us, but get out of here, will you? See you tonight.
Okay.
Well, Cora, what is it? You said you wanted to speak to me after dinner.
Yes, I do. Miss Penny, I can handle Father when you're not around. I want you to leave.
Oh, do you? Have you taken over the job of hiring and firing...
The servants?
Cora.
Why should I have any respect for your feelings? What you and Clarence did to me today will linger in my memory as long as I live. And a woman who loves as much as I will resort to anything to attain the man she loves. I'll lie, I'll steal, I'll do anything to get rid of you.
I heard what you said. That's a fine way for a squirt like you to talk to a lady.
You see, you've even turned my own brother against me.
How would you like me to tell Tobias what you like when he isn't here?
And how would you like a kick in the teeth?
When you attack this lady that soils her soul by being your companion, you put a stain on your whole vile sex.
But I'm a member of that same vile sex, Bobby.
I'd never believe it. There may be some women the same sex as Cora, but not you. The first time I saw you, something came over me.
The first time you saw her, you got the mumps.
Something came over me, and I've tried to live a higher life.
What is the trouble? Miss Penny, if you can't keep better order than this...
Bobby says that something came over him when he saw Violet.
That doesn't seem to be unnatural. With men in this house...
He wants to lead a higher life.
Well, that's no disgrace, is it? If you knew a little more about the higher life...
Racket! I can hear you clear in the library.
That was Cora. Clarence threw Tobias out, and she's had convulsions ever since.
Clarence threw Tobias out? Well, that's the first sensible thing I've heard in this house for months.
It was all Violet's fault.
What right had Miss Penny to tell Mr. Tobias not to come here again?
Well, Dad wants her to assume a great deal, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Cora, Bobby, get to your room.
No.
All right, then don't. Miss Penny, I want to talk with you.
Alone, I presume?
No. You stay here, too.
I prefer not to intrude.
Minnie, for heaven's sake.
I'll not be humiliated like this in front of that woman.
I can't stand this any longer.
And neither can I.
Well, if you've got nothing on me, if I don't get a little peace and quiet in this house, I'm going stark raving mad. What is that infernal noise?
Look, it's Clarence.
He's playing some kind of a thing. Clarence, come here. What is that?
Hi, folks. I thought I heard a little excitement down here and thought you might like a little music to go with it.
Music? From that thing?
What is it, Clarence?
But I'm glad you asked me that.
Well, it's nothing but a piece of pipe.
And a funnel. It's the funnel that gives it that beautiful tone you no doubt noticed. And
Well, what are you going to do with it?
Well, now, I kind of figured on playing it. You know, they say music has charm to soothe the savage breast, and, well, it just looks to me like a little soothing around here wouldn't do no harm at all.
Come on, Clarence. I'll play the piano for you.
Will it be all right, Mr. Wheeler?
I don't know, but play it anyhow.
Where's my music?
I can play without music, Clarence. What would you like?
Oh, Mother.
Come, Clarence.
Well, now, one of my favorites is something old Grandpa Snazzy taught me when I was a little cooing baby back in Van Buren. Now, It goes something like that. You just heard it. Give me a chord in B flat, will you?
In B flat.
You have just heard Act One of Clarence. In a few moments, we will continue with Act Two of our play, starring Bob Burns and Gail Patrick with Thomas Mitchell. Since the national craze of the moment is that delightful film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, we couldn't resist the temptation to join the procession. With your kind permission, we would like to present our version of a scene between the wicked queen and the truthful mirror.
Mirror, mirror, tell me true how beautiful I look to you.
Good to look at, wicked queen, but not so fair as one I've seen.
Mirror, mirror, that's a lie. None could be more fair than I. I know my fortune is my face, and work to keep my looks in place. I get my color from a box. Watch my figure, frizz my locks.
And still, dear queen, there is no doubt, on clear, smooth skin, you're losing out.
Stupid thing, as if that mattered. No more cracks or you'll be shattered.
Snow White skin is smooth as cream. She's a girl who wouldn't dream of risking dull cosmetic skin against good looks, a dreadful sin. She uses rouge and powder too, but she has found just what to do.
Cosmetic skin?
I'm a mirror, not a prophet. But frankly, queen, I think you've got it.
Quickly, tell me how Snow White keeps her skin exactly right.
It's very simple, as you'll gather. She uses the soap with active lather, keeps the skin smooth. Abandon hope. You haven't used Lux toilet soap.
Have you had a frank talk with your mirror lately? If you have been guarding wisely against cosmetic skin, your mirror has had only complimentary things to say. Lux Toilet Soap's active lather removes stale cosmetics, dust, and dirt thoroughly. Guards against the choked pores that cause dullness, tiny blemishes, enlarged pores. Cosmetic skin. Use cosmetics all you like, but use Lux Toilet Soap before you put on fresh makeup. Always before you go to bed. 9 out of 10 screen stars use it to guard million-dollar complexions. Make this pure white soap your regular beauty care. Now, our producer, Mr. DeMille.
Back to Bob Burns and Gail Patrick in Clarence with Thomas Mitchell, Johnny Downs, Jane Bryan, and Eileen Pringle. It's the following morning, and a strange, almost ominous peace has descended upon the Mad Wheeler household. In the garden stands Clarence, wielding a spray gun. From around the corner of the house, Mrs. Wheeler appears under full sail. But it's a new Mrs. Wheeler, a smiling, coy matron, who gazes fascinated upon Clarence, and finally addresses him in her most charming soprano.
There you are, Clarence. What are you doing?
Spraying bugs?
Oh, dear. Do you mind if I watch Clarence?
No, ma'am. Just trying out a new kind of a spray, one of my own.
Oh, but I'm afraid that cap you're wearing isn't much protection from the sun, Clarence. But your old army hat. How quaint. You're wearing it backwards.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I am. You know, I suppose you'd call it a rebellion against convention. I've always wanted to put this thing on backward just to see what had happened.
I think I know exactly how you feel, Clarence. Whenever I see a sign that says keep off the lawn, I have a positive mania for wanting to walk on it.
Now, that's just about the way I am. And when you see a sign that says no smoking, don't it make you just itch to light up a good cigar?
I'm afraid I wouldn't carry it that far.
Well, it's all a matter of psychology. I guess nobody likes being a nonentity.
Oh, I know all about being a nonentity, Clarence. It's just since last night when we were playing that I've really felt like a member of this household.
Yeah, it was fun, wasn't it?
We must do it more often. The next time, I'm going to have a surprise for you.
Can you tell me now?
Oh, well, I've been practicing some hot licks on the piano. Why, I wonder who's playing my piano. It sounds like Bobby. But Bobby must practice a great deal more before
Oh, what time is it? Oh, I just have time to
You've
go
been
down...
avoiding me for days. You can't treat me like this, Bobby. I won't stand for
But
it.
gee, look now, Della.
We could slip away tonight and get married and
Oh,
then...
what are you talking about?
Oh, you've broken my heart. I'm going to your father.
Hey, don't do that. Now, listen, I told you I'd get that money for you.
Oh, Clarence!
For the love of Pete, Della, get out, will you?
All right, I'll get out now. But you've got to do something. I won't wait much longer, young man.
Oh, Clarence, will you fix the... Oh, it's you.
Well, a fella has to practice sometime.
I guess you must think Violet likes it. Funny, I never thought of it before.
And it's funny you're wearing tennis shorts in weather like this. You'd do anything to attract Clarence's attention, wouldn't you? Look at you, you're freezing.
I am not.
You're all covered with goose pimples.
That's from your piano playing. Oh, good morning, Clarence.
Oh, excuse me. I'll come back when you're dressed.
Oh. Clarence, the hot water in my room doesn't seem to be working right. Do you suppose you could come up
Why,
and...
sure, I'd be glad to. Now you run up there and turn it on, and I'll try the heater in the basement.
Oh, but you'll have to come up to see about it, won't you?
Yes, I think so. I can't tell till you turn it on.
Well, all right, Clarence. I'll go up right now and...
Practicing, Bobby?
Listen, Clarence, there's something I want to ask you.
About the piano?
No. About love. Did you ever pitch a woo?
Is it anything like pitching horseshoes?
What I mean is, did you ever get romantic with a girl? What I mean is, did you ever sort of say to her, put your head on my chest and relax, baby?
No, I don't think I ever did. Did you?
Well, I haven't yet, but if I'm going to marry Miss Penny, I sort of have to start letting her know my viewpoints about things.
You think she'll get it from that?
Oh, sure. All I got to do is get her away somewhere with some privacy, to a nightclub or something. Say, couldn't we ask her to go tonight?
We?
Sure. You ask Violet, then I'll meet you there or something, and when I arrive, you can do a fade-out. I'll tell her you've got magnesia or something, and that you always wander off like that.
Well, that's very thoughtful, Bobby.
Look, she's out on the porch now. Ask her, will you, Clarence?
Well...
Go ahead. Don't be bashful.
Well, all right. Miss Penny.
Hello, Clarence. What on earth are you doing that for, putting your finger in your mouth?
Well, that makes it wet. Then I hold it up and find out which way the wind's blowing. We always did that in the Army.
Well, does it make any difference which way the wind's blowing now?
Always sleep with your head to the wind. Otherwise, it blows up your pants leg.
Oh, Clarence.
Miss Penny.
Yes.
I've been wanting to ask you, what do you do with your evenings?
Well, I generally read.
Saturday night, too?
There's not much else to do.
Well, I was kind of wondering, do you like to dance?
Well, if you're asking me to go to a dance with you, I will.
But I'm not.
Well, that settles that.
Yeah, but I am.
You am what?
What I mean is, I want you to go with Bobby.
Now, wait a minute. Why do you want me to go to a dance with Bobby?
Well, I don't. Doggone it. Well, what I'm trying to say, Bobby wants you to go with us.
Us?
He asked me to kind of go along or something. Will you?
Well, would you like me to?
Well, sure.
Then I will.
Well, for goodness sake.
Morning, everybody. Well, for once, maybe we can all sit down to breakfast without flying at each other's throat. Now then, where's my morning paper?
Here it is, dear.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Well, why doesn't somebody say something? What's happened this time?
Della?
Yes, ma'am.
I asked you to call Clarence and Miss Penny.
Well, they're probably walking in the garden.
I beg your pardon, sir, but their rooms weren't occupied last night.
What?
You mean they stayed out all night?
It appears so, Mr. Wheeler.
I think it's perfectly terrible.
Maybe they were in an accident.
Accident, my eye. He's had Violet out every night since we had that party at the nightclub.
I don't like this, Minnie.
I blame it on Clarence.
Because he's a double-dealing chiseler.
And she makes me sick the way she throws herself at him all the time.
Be quiet, Cora. This is all very strange to me. I could swear I saw Clarence driving the car into the garage last night.
The garage?
What?
I just kind of leaned on the horn accidental-like
Oh, where are we?
in the garage.
How long have we been here?
Since 10 minutes past 1 last night. It's 8:30 now.
Oh, my goodness, why didn't you wake me up?
Well, you just look so comfortable, I hated to disturb you.
So you just sat there without moving so I could sleep.
Well, maybe my head did sort of fall over once or twice.
On mine?
Well, yeah, I guess it did, but I didn't mean to. That is, you see...
I forgive you, Clarence. Oh, ouch. Oh.
What's the matter?
Oh, gee, I'm stiff. My feet.
I guess it's my fault, the way I dance.
Oh, I thought you were wonderful last night.
Did you?
Uh-huh.
I guess maybe we better go in. It's kind of late to be getting home.
Yes, and face the music.
What?
You're going to wonder where we've been.
Well, it's none of their business where we've been.
It certainly
Shut
is a
up,
fine
I tell
thing
you,
the way
she legs
she's out.
strangling to the night.
Staying
How do you do
out
when a
all
man
night.
can't
She
get a word
ought
in
to be
edgewise in his own
fired or
house?
something.
I guess maybe I was wrong. Hello, folks.
Well, good morning.
It is a nice morning, isn't
Oh, Clarence, how could you do this to me?
it? Do what?
Stay up all night?
Oh, it's easy if you just keep pinching yourself.
You'll settle with me for this.
Sit down, Bobby. This is not a very good example to set for the children, Miss Penny.
But, Mr. Wheeler...
Not here, Miss Penny, not here. We'll discuss it in the library if you don't mind.
Please, Mr. Wheeler, you're not addressing Cora.
That's right. Go ahead. Make fun of me.
I think you're all making a lot of fuss about nothing.
Nothing.
I'll handle this, Minnie.
I'll handle this myself.
Why, Bobby.
Don't you talk to me, you traitor.
Bobby, it seems to me you've had some false illusions.
And maybe you think I haven't.
Bobby, Cora, please.
That's it. Stick up for outsiders against your own kith and kind.
That's a fine way to talk
No one
about
has
it.
any
Please,
insinuating a thing like
Stop
that.
this strangling. Quiet.
Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse Violet and me,
But, Clarence, aren't you going to offer some explanation?
under the circumstances, no.
But that doesn't put me in a very favorable light.
Explaining only makes it look like you got a guilty conscience.
But I have myself to think of if you haven't.
But I have.
You act like it.
Pardon me, Mr. Wheeler, but Mr. Tobias is at the door, sir.
Hubert, what does he want?
Well,
He says he has some very important news for you, sir. About him, Clarence.
what about him? Well, tell him to come in.
Will it be all right if I go to my room now?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Thanks.
Mr. Wheeler, I want to see you.
Perhaps you'd better see Mr. Tobias first.
Yes, I think perhaps you might. Good morning, Mr. Wheeler. Good morning, Miss Penny. How do you do, Cora?
Well, what is it?
I came here to do your family a service. Do you know whom you're harboring under your roof? This soldier, this one who calls himself Clarence. I haven't had the pleasure of hearing his last name.
His last name is Smun. What about it?
His name is not Smun, Mr. Wheeler. It's Moan. Clarence Moan.
Please, Miss Penny, it's Smun.
I beg your pardon. I distinctly heard him say Moan. Nobody's name was ever Smun.
Nobody's name was ever Moan.
Well, why don't you ask him?
Because I know. That's why.
He told me it was Moan.
Miss Penny, you're getting worse than my wife.
Mr. Wheeler, please.
Stella,
Yes, sir?
you distribute the mail in this house. You've seen Mr. Smun's letters, haven't you?
Whose letters?
Clarence's letters. How does he spell his last name?
He hasn't had any letters, sir.
No letters. Oh, that's funny, isn't it?
What's funny about it?
Oh, don't excite yourself. But it looks as if he might have taken measures not to get any mail.
For heaven's sake, man, what are you driving at?
I'm driving at this. What's in the morning paper?
I haven't got any glasses.
Then I'll read it to you. Deserter. Charles Short. Sought by War Department and divorced wife, seeking alimony. Also wanted in Delaware for embezzlement. And there's his picture.
It doesn't look like Clarence.
Newspaper pictures never do. Don't you realize you have a confidence man in the house?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Minnie, what did he tell you?
He told me he used to drive mules.
Yes, everybody knows that. What else?
Well, he seemed to be very well acquainted with bugs. Perhaps he used to be a botanist.
And I thought he was a plumber. Hey, you.
Yes, Papa?
What do you know about him?
He told us he was raised by cannibals.
I hate Clarence.
Tell Clarence to come down here. Now, at once.
How can I tell him to come down? I'm not speaking to him.
Do as you're told.
Yes, Papa.
Oh, this is fine. He's a plumber. He's a soldier. He's a consort of cannibals. He's a piano tuner. He's a botanist.
There must be something queer about him. Or else how could he have spirited Violet right from under my nose?
Ah, that's what I hadn't heard.
And look how he took Cora away from you.
Oh, nonsense.
You want to see me, Mr. Wheeler?
Yes, I do.
I'll handle this. Well, I see you're not wearing your uniform anymore, Mr. Short.
Mr. who?
Charles Short. I suppose you don't know anyone by the name of Charles Short.
Yes, I do.
Do you know anyone by the name of Charles Shortwell?
Charles Shortwell? No, I think there was some Shortwells caught for stealing sheep back in...
But you do know someone named Charles Short.
Everybody knows somebody named Charlie Short.
I'm talking about the one you know.
I know 3.
I'm talking about Charles Short, the deserter.
Oh, that one.
May I have that newspaper, Mr. Tobias? Clarence, They wanted to know if this is a picture of you. Are you this Charles Short?
Well, are you?
No, I'm not this Charles Short. Not this one here in the paper. About my being either one of the other two Shorts I know, I won't commit myself, but I'm not this one.
If he'll lie about one thing, he'll lie about another.
Have I ever lied to you, Mr. Tobias?
You've lied to everybody in this house. Ask any one of them.
Well, have I?
Well, I don't know. I don't think so.
Say, what's all this about, anyhow?
We want to know who you are.
Why, don't you know who I am?
Well, if we knew, we wouldn't be asking.
Yeah, that's right, ain't it? Well, all you had to do was look me up in the latest edition of Who's Who. Now, I don't mean that I'm a great man, but I certainly am one of the authorities on the coleoptera.
What?
The coleoptera.
Excuse me, Mr. Wheeler, but the hot water heater's out of order again. Can Clarence fix it?
I can if they're all through with me in here.
Yes. I guess we are, yes. Quick, Bobby. Get me the dictionary.
Yes, sir.
Cora.
Yes?
Get me a copy of Who's Who.
Okay.
Well, now, if there is anything I can do...
Yes, there is. You can get out of this house and stay out.
We pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Now, before starting the third act of Clarence, a brief intermission and a chance to meet one of the unusual personalities behind the scenes of Hollywood. We have hundreds of camera men in the film capital, but only one camera woman. She's Mrs. Tay Garnett, wife of the distinguished Hollywood director, who, before her marriage, was Helga Moray, one of England's leading screen stars. As camera woman, Mrs. Garnett accompanied her husband and 12 other men on a 40,000-mile voyage recently concluded to the world's most distant corners to collect authentic background shots for two films that Mr. Garnett plans to make, Trade Winds and World Cruise. They visited 27 countries and brought back 70,000 feet of film. I doubt if the pictures in which you'll see this film can be any more exciting than the experiences encountered in securing it. If you please, Mrs. Garnett, what about them?
Well, Mr. DeMille, I suppose our most exciting experiences happened in the steaming jungles of Indochina. There, for example, we filmed a tribe called the Annamite, whose women are like Amazons, beautiful and powerful, but whose men, through centuries of indolence, are weak pygmies in comparison. In one village, 3 of their men were unable to close one of my suitcases, which I later closed myself without any difficulty. In a place called Natrang, we encountered a colony of ape men who lived in great nests in the treetops. They have virtually no language and no memory, spending their lives like animals, eating and sleeping. In the province of Annam, we made the first pictures of their sacred elephants, one of which went berserk and killed 5 natives before our eyes. But while those were perhaps our most exciting experiences, I think our most interesting was our visit to the Laccadive Islands.
The Laccadives are probably one of the least known island groups in the world. I'm afraid all I know about them is that they lie off the coast of Malabar, and that the natives are descendants of a shipload of Mohammedan pilgrims wrecked there some 300 years ago.
That's correct, Mr. DeMille. There are dark-skinned people, about 2,500 of them. They'd never before seen a white woman, and no white man had visited there since 1897. They'd never heard of the United States, and I was amazed to find the women using red lacquer on their fingernails exactly as we do here. And here's something that will amaze you. They'd never seen nor heard of soap.
Oh, Mrs. Garnett. Not even Lux soap?
No, not even Lux. Along with other supplies that we wanted to be sure to always have on hand, we brought along several cases of Lux soap on our yacht, the Athene. Soap, we found, is always a gift certain to delight natives anywhere, and so it proved on the Laccadives. They never quite recovered from the miracle of the bubbles, nor could they understand why, after patiently scrubbing themselves, they didn't turn white like we were. And I wouldn't be surprised, Mrs. DeMille, if they're still squatting on the beach trying to acquire a complexion like 9 out of 10 Hollywood screen stars who also use Lux soap.
Well, in less isolated places, Mrs. Garnett, what did you find out about their taste in motion pictures?
For one thing, the most popular stars are brunettes. They think that blondes are anemic and washed out. And my husband was constantly being consoled for having a wife as blonde and light as I am. They're very fond of musical pictures. Charlie Chan's their idol, and so is Shirley Temple. Next year, we're going to make another voyage. this time to the west coast of Africa. And when I return, if you let me, I'd love to come back and tell you a little about that trip, too. Thank you.
Consider yourself invited. And thank you, Mrs. Riley. Bob Burns, Gail Patrick, Thomas Mitchell, and our all-star cast resume Clarence. Clarence's reference to Who's Who has made him more of a mystery man than ever. Down in the basement, the man of the hour has once again repaired the hot water heater. A slightly cowed Bobby stands next to him as Dinny, Della's burly fiancé, descends the cellar steps and hands Clarence a Stilson wrench.
Well, here it is. I had a hard time getting it, too.
Thanks. I don't need it now. Oh, I haven't met you, have I?
There's a lot of people you haven't met.
He's Dinny, Della's boyfriend. He works for the grocery.
Or what of it? Hey, where's Miss Penny's trunk, kid? I'm supposed to take it to the station.
What for?
She's leaving here.
You sure fixed me up, Clarence. You're driving the most beautiful girl in the world out of the house.
Did Miss Penny say that?
She got me to help Dinny with the trunk so you wouldn't know about it.
You mean she don't even want to see me before she leaves?
First you besmirch her reputation, and then she discovers what an awful liar you are.
Now, wait a minute, Bobby.
On, they want you upstairs here. And I wanted to see you, Bobby.
What do you want with Bobby?
He knows what I want with him.
And I know, too. If I were you, I'd forget about it.
I don't take orders from you.
Well, the mules used to have the same attitude, but they went. Now, you two have framed a mean, low-down plot against this boy here, and it's going to stop right now.
Fuck him with that wrench, Dinny.
What? I've never hit anybody in my life, but I've always thought it must be awful nice at times.
You couldn't hit anybody, you half-baked jellyfish.
Well, I can try. And that's why I can't give Della. And here's a couple more from me. And here's one for the whole Wheeler family.
Oh, my big bully, Dinny, darling. Are you hurt? Answer me, Dinny.
So you were trying to put something over.
Shut up.
Why, Della, that's no way to talk to your future husband.
Gee, Clarence, I never knew you had a wallop like that.
Not so loud. Violet, I want to see you.
Well?
Violet, I want to say something.
Why didn't you say something before when it might have done some good?
Well, why should I explain anything to Tobias?
You could have told us who you are.
I didn't want to boast, but after all, I am one of the authorities on the Coleoptera.
Yes, you said that before.
That don't seem to impress you very much. But when you think they outnumber human beings by billions and billions, well, there's something.
I'm not interested. What are they?
The Coleoptera, why, they're beetles.
Beetles?
Yeah, beetles, bugs and things. Well, what's so funny?
To think I've been worrying about a person who chases beetles.
Well, I don't chase beetles. The fact is, my talents lie just as much along potato bugs.
No.
Not socially, you understand, but finding their worst enemies.
You mean people who hate potato bugs?
The enemies kill the potato bugs and you save the potatoes. That explains it, I hope.
I thought you were going to explain about yourself.
Oh, I'll work me in with the bugs. Now,
But you said you drove mules in the army.
Well, that's right. For the last 3 years, up until I resigned from the army again, I was, well, sort of a doctor to them. But the bugs are my real-life work.
Then why don't you go back to it?
I'm going to. I wrote to a laboratory, and if they think half as much of me as I do of myself, my ticket will be in the morning's mail.
That may be just another of your stories, but it's interesting.
Yeah, ain't it? Yeah, we'll have a lot of fun on this new job.
We?
Well, you know, my assistants and I.
Oh.
But we should go together, don't you think?
You and your assistant?
Yeah. No, I mean... Oh, doggone it, Violet, I mean you and me.
I wish I could make you out, Clarence.
But you will, Violet.
Oh, Clarence.
Oh.
Hey, Bobby, did you look for those letters for me?
Yeah, but there wasn't any.
Oh, there must be. I should have heard 3 or 4 days ago. There must be a letter for me.
I've looked all through the last 6 who's, and there's no Clarence Smon in any of them. There's no Clarence Moan either.
You needn't have looked for Moan. If your father says it's Smon, it's Smon.
What's that, Minnie? You're agreeing with me?
I've learned something from Clarence, dear. Haven't you noticed how we do all the ranting and raving? He never gets excited about anything.
Well, it's a pretty good system at that. But we don't know any more about Clarence than we did 2 hours ago.
I tell you, there must be a letter someplace.
He's still looking for a letter.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Wheeler, but I've got to go through your correspondence.
You've got to what?
Henry.
Well, all right, of course. Go ahead. There's a pile of mail there on my desk.
Violet, you look as if you were going out.
I am. I'm leaving.
What?
But not for...
Yes, we're good, Mr. Wheeler.
Oh, surely it couldn't be anything I've...
No, Mrs. Wheeler, nothing you've done.
But it can't be that silly argument
It's
we had.
nothing any of you've done. I'll even admit that Clarence may be one of the Smun family.
It's probably Moan. I've been wrong before.
Here it is, Violet.
Look, he's found a letter. Why, it says C. Smith, Esquire.
Well, why shouldn't it? That's my name.
Smith? Clarence Smith. Where's that who's who? Smith. Clarence Smith. Entomologist. Chief entomologist. And he did have cannibals. He was born in Africa. And he did live in Arkansas because the family came back from Africa. And he... A lot of other big initials.
And a DSC.
Clarence, how many schools did you go to?
Wait, I don't know. I'm trying to read this letter. A lot of schools. Violet, look, it's all right. We're set. It says so. We're set.
Like in bridge, Clarence?
No, like in laboratory. I've got a job. We can be married now.
Who can be married, Clarence?
Well, Violet and me.
Oh!
Smith. Clarence Smith.
Is it going to make a difference?
Smith's beautiful.
You've deceived me all along.
Cora. Well, I guess I'll be going back to school soon, Miss Violet Penny, so I won't be seeing you. But if he doesn't make you happy, why, I'll... Anyway.
Thank you, Bobby. Goodbye.
Say, Bobby.
Yeah?
You remember one time you asked me if I ever... Well, you might as well know how it's done now. Come here, Violet.
Yes, Clarence?
Put your head on my chest and relax, baby.
Oh, Clarence.
Down goes the curtain and up go the lights, and our play is over. But here are Bob Burns and Gail Patrick back for a little exchange of informal conversation.
Well, Bob, how'd you like it?
How to like what, Gail?
Doing Clarence.
This is the first time you've played a dramatic part on the radio, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's the very first time, and it sure was nice. And I've been thinking that maybe that's my real life work, being a matinee idol. You know, I couldn't help thinking, how much Clarence's life parallels my own.
Oh, but Bob, Clarence was born in the wilds of Africa among the cannibals.
And you were born in the wilds of Arkansas. And don't tell me they have cannibals in Arkansas.
No, they don't have any cannibals down there, but during some of those bad years, I want to tell you I got awful uneasy. And then another thing, I joined the Army like Clarence, and then I remember I wore my uniform around a long time before I got another suit to wear.
Were you the only one in your family in the Army, Bob?
Well, now, Gail, there was my cousin Walford. He wanted to join up, but I believe if they had used Lux soap back in those times, he'd have made it. But, that homemade soap we use down there, it don't work so good.
Well, everybody knows there's nothing like Lux toilet soap, Bob, and I suppose that since you've been in Hollywood, you found out that just about everyone here uses it.
Yeah?
I know I think it's grand, and I wouldn't be without it. But what about Cousin Walford, who didn't use Lux soap?
Poor chap.
Well, my Uncle Fudd took my cousin Walford down to the recruiting station, and the sergeant looked at Walford, and he says to Uncle Fudd, he says, take the boy out and give him a scrubbing so I can see what he looks like. So Uncle Fudd took Walford out, and he brought him back in after a while, and the sergeant looked at Walford and says, I thought I told you to take that boy out and scrub him. And Uncle Fudd says, I did scrub him. The sergeant says, well, he don't look like it. And Uncle Fudd says, well, I'll tell you, Sergeant, the boy just dries out a bad color. But, I sure am going to send some of this Lux soap back to my kid folks in Arkansas.
What kind of soap have they been using, Bob?
Well, up to now, Mr. DeMille, the only kind of soap we can find that do any good for him at all is saddle soap.
Object.
Well, if there ain't Mayor Tom English.
Yes, it certainly is, Bob. I just thought it'd be a good idea to bring the mayor of your hometown here, Mayor Tom English of Van Buren, Arkansas, and let him check up on you.
And he's objecting to you already, Bob. On what grounds, Mayor English?
Well, Miss Patrick, I don't know why you people on the radio don't talk about the home girls. You're always talking about the beautiful women in Hollywood. Back in Van Buren, our girls are very beautiful, too, and they use Lux toilet soap, just as much as you picture stars do here. Anyway, I think our Van Buren girls are mighty good looking.
Ain't it the truth?
Your Honor, From the way Bob talks on the radio, I think people get the idea that about everybody in Van Buren is some relative of his. After all, Van Buren has a fairly large population, hasn't it?
Well, we're pushing up around 6,000, Mr. DeMille, and I don't believe that more than 4,500 are any kin of Bob's. Of course, I'm referring to blood kin.
Yeah, I sure we were blood kin, Mayor, because I think you're just about the finest mayor I can think of.
Well, thank you, Bob, and I don't think I have to tell you how proud Van Buren is of you, and we certainly think you're doing a mighty fine work, helping these young fellows along by letting them be on the program with you, Mr. DeMille and Bing Crosby.
Mayor, I think our listeners would like very much to know just what Bob was like before he blew his way to fame on the bazooka, when he was just a hometown boy in Van Buren, before he acquired all his polish and sophistication.
Oh, now, Gail.
Well, Bob may have acquired some of his city ways when he went to the University of Arkansas. When Bob made up his mind to go, he asked old Professor Williams, our school superintendent, to write a letter to the college president.
Yeah, if you let me finish here, that is a fact. And so he wrote a note for me to take up to the university, and so I just sneaked a look at it, and he had said, I hope you'll be able to interest this boy. I can't flatter myself I did.
You know, Bob, just before I left, I was talking to some of your kinfolks back home, and they were telling me...
You know, I think I better stop you right here, Mayor, because I don't know. If you kind of start talking, I'll be out of a job.
You mean you'd have to come back to Van Buren?
That's exactly what I mean, so there.
Well, then maybe I'd better just keep quiet. But before I do, Bob, I couldn't help being impressed by your knowledge of potato bugs in that play tonight. If you know that much about potato bugs, I think maybe you better come home after all.
You mean the potato bug's kind of acting up again?
Something terrible. Just before I left, your Grandpa Snazzy was telling me how last summer those potato bugs got so independent and so uppity that they not only ate up half his crop, but they sent a petition to him telling him that this year they're demanding gravy. Good night, Bob, and thank you, Miss Patrick and Mr. DeMille, for an awfully nice time.
And before I go, Mr. DeMille, I'd like to say how happy we are to see you back again in Hollywood.
Yes, and that new picture, The Buccaneers, is such a hit. You know, I can't wait till it plays back home in Van Buren. Won't they be surprised when they find out that pictures can talk?
Well, thank you, Bob, and good night, Gail, and Mayor English.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your announcer, Melville Roach. Mr. DeMille returns presently with news of next week's stars and plays, news that I'm sure will thrill you all. In our cast tonight were Eileen Pringle as Mrs. Wheeler, Sarah Selby as Della, Wally Mayer as Dinny, Perry Ivans as Tobias, Lou Merrill as Sergeant of Police, and Frank Nelson as cab driver. Bob Burns, who appeared through courtesy of the Kraft Phoenix Cheese Company, will be seen shortly in the RKO film Radio City Rebels. Johnny Downs' new Paramount picture is Thrill of a Lifetime. Jane Bryan stars in the new Warner Brothers picture, A Slight Case of Murder. And Louis Silvers is from 20th Century Fox Studios, where he directed music for their new picture in Old Chicago. This week, a national campaign is being conducted to combat infantile paralysis. It is called the March of Dimes and has the active support of the President of the United States. You can help in fighting this dread disease in this very simple way. Just send one dime to President Roosevelt, the White House, Washington, D.C. Sending one dime to President Roosevelt in support of this splendid cause will mean little to you. But if millions of people send in their dimes promptly, a real service will be rendered. Back now to our producer, Mr. DeMille.
Judging from the letters which you send us, and which we're always so glad to receive, two of the most popular stars to have appeared in the Lux Radio Theater are Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland. So I'm sure you share the pleasure I have in announcing that next Monday night they return to our stage in another outstanding drama, co-starring for us as they do in the new Warner Brothers pictures Robin Hood. And to add to the good news,
You're listening to Rumble.cr, brought to you by G3PL.com.
Gentlemen, the secret word tonight is chair, C-H-A-I-R.
Really?
You bet your life. The more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth...
Come, kids, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you use every day. Louise Callahan and Harold Goodman. Louise, say this. There's quite a lot of you, isn't there? How much of you is there, Louise?
165 pounds. 6 feet tall.
6 feet tall, and you weigh 165, huh? Where are you from?
I'm from Shamokin, Pennsylvania.
Oh, well, I'm smoking now, huh? Where are you from, Harold?
Indiana Harbor, Indiana.
How old are you, Harold?
27.
27,
Yes.
huh? Well, you're a fine-looking lad.
Thank you.
What sort of work do you do, my lad?
I'm a physician.
Oh, a doctor, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any difference between a doctor and a physician? Except the fee, I mean.
Well, many professions apply the name doctor to their title, but a physician is...
That's a euphemism, isn't it?
A euphemism is
yes,
fine.
Yes,
I
well,
think.
euphemism and me for using that. You know, I'm curious. What made you decide to become a doctor in the first place?
Well, that's a question that I've been asked many times, and it's a very difficult one to answer.
Was this after you operated they asked you that? Well, how do you answer that query?
The answer of necessity has to be very nebulous and vague, and I just can't give you a specific...
Well, we don't object to a nebulous answer.
You don't?
Oh, no.
Well, it offers a great...
You'd be surprised
deal.
how nebulous we can get on this show.
I've seen you before, and I'm sure that... the field, of course...
How would you like it if I practiced medicine, huh? I'm allegedly the comic on this show.
Medicine offers a great deal of variety and interest.
Well,
value.
show business offers a lot of variety, too.
I would like very
It's on
much
sale
to be in
every
show
week,
business.
huh?
I would like to be in,
Well,
in show business.
the way you're going now, it won't be a matter of a few minutes. You may be sitting here, and I may be rolling bandages. Wanting something better. Go on now. What were you saying?
I think I finished.
Oh, you finished? Well, how'd you make out?
There you are.
Well, that was quite interesting, and I've learned a lot from that, Doc. Now, you say that this is a kind of a nebulous answer. You could only give a vague answer. I hate to bring up an unpleasant subject like this, but weren't you at all interested in the financial returns of being a doctor?
It's a long time before that comes around. You spend 4 years in college. That takes a great deal of money. 4 years in medical school also costs a good deal. This is followed by a year of internship at the rate of about 10 cents an hour. If you want to specialize, a residency for 3 or 4 years at 15 cents an hour. Then out in practice, it'll take a little while to get established.
15 cents an hour?
It's quite good these days.
Well, it costs you 60 cents to shoot pool for an hour. Why couldn't you skip all those preliminaries and just hang up a shingle when you get out of high school?
Well, that would be unethical, and besides, you'd get caught.
Well, suppose they nailed you a few times. You'd save 12 years anyway. Now, Louise, what sort of work have you been doing?
I used to be the human fish at the Mommy Biltmore in Florida.
You were a human fish?
Yes.
Did you have a worm in your mouth? Or...
No, I'll tell you about it, Groucho.
Well, I wish you would.
What they did was put a harness on me, and there was a man with a pole and a line, and I would go out in the water and swim real hard and try to fight it, and people on the sides would make bets and to see if I would stay out in the water or whether he pulled me in or not.
Well, after they caught you, did they hang you over the mantle? Or... Imagine coming home and explaining this to your wife, say, I just caught this fish. Well, you make a splendid couple, and now the rest is up to you. I've done all I can. Now, in just 1 minute, you're going to play You Bet Your Life for a chance at the $1,000 question. But first, I want everybody to listen to this.
Friends, what do you want in a car?
An engine might be nice.
If you're looking for the highest standards of safety and performance, you should own a DeSoto.
How about if you're looking for little things, like wheels?
Well, Groucho, no matter what you're looking for, you'll do better with a DeSoto. You mentioned engines. DeSoto, you know, has the sensational 160 horsepower Fire Dome V8 engine. The engine specifically designed to give you top performance under all conditions. The DeSoto Fire Dome gives you surging power plus real economy because the Fire Dome was built to run at peak efficiency on ordinary fuels, not expensive premium fuels. The mighty DeSoto Fire Dome V8 engine means you'll always have power when you want it, power when you need it. And as for wheels, DeSoto offers you wonderful safety rim wheels, an extra safety factor. DeSoto's safety rim wheels have special protective ridges designed to hold the tire securely on the rim in case of a blowout. This helps you control the car and bring it to a safe stop. So you see, friends, for outstanding performance and wonderful safety, your next car should be a DeSoto. Tomorrow, drop in at your DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Take the 5-mile trial in the mighty DeSoto Fire Dome 8 or the famous DeSoto PowerMaster 6. Prove to yourself that your next car should be a DeSoto. And don't forget, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth, the low-priced car most like high-priced cars.
All right, now let's see how you work together as a team. Fireman, Fire Dome Fenneman.
Yes, sir.
Would you mind explaining the rules to these young culprits, young couple?
Well, you bet as much of your $20 as you want on each of 4 questions, and the couple that earns the most money gets a chance at the $1,000 DeSoto Plymouth question later on in the show.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. From our list of 20 categories, you selected songs written by famous personalities as your category. Here's your first question. How much of the 20 will you try?
1950.
1950. Billy Rose and several others combined their talents to write this song. Give me the title of it. Okay, Jerry.
Me and My Shadow.
Me and My Shadow is right.
You're off to a good start. You have $39.50.
The song has been made famous by the old master Ted Lewis. $39 you're going to bet? Remember, you're going for $1,000 tonight. Now, you're going to bet $39. Rudy Valley had a hand in writing this song. Give me the title.
Good night, sweetheart.
Good night, sweetheart is right.
You now have $78.50.
How much you going to bet?
78.
Here's the third question. $78. Bing Crosby was one of the writers of this song. What's the name of it? Play it, Jerry. Ghost of a Chance with You is right.
You're now flying to $156.50.
How much of this are you going to bet this time? $156.50.
All of it.
You going to shoot the works? Here we go. It's your last chance to beat the other couples. In 1924, Al Jolson helped write this song. Let's see if you can identify it. California, here I come.
And you'll wind up with $313.
There, Louise, you're a fine couple. Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
Groucho, we invited some Red Cross workers to the program tonight, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Miss Marjorie Stevens. Her partner is a husband who volunteered, Mr. George Heckenkamp. Folks, come in and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you use every day. Marjorie Stevens, eh?
Yes.
And Mr. George Heckenkamp.
Right.
Say, that's a cute uniform, Marjorie, and you're a cute girl. Are you a CB?
No. This is a Red Cross uniform.
Oh, well, you don't look very cross. Do you do anything else aside from Red Cross work?
Yes, I help an orthodontist.
Oh. Well, he goes to his church, and everybody goes to theirs. George Heckenkamp, huh?
Yes.
Where you from?
I'm originally from Quincy, Illinois.
Oh, I had the Quincy for a while. I played in Quincy. That was long before you were born, though, I think. Are you married, George?
Yes, I am, sir.
Mm-hmm. How'd you meet your wife?
Well, she was dancing with a fellow I didn't like one time, and I cut in on him, and Been dancing with her ever since.
You dance 24 hours a day? Was your wife pleased at this turn of events?
Well, I'm married to her. She
Answer my question, George. None of this nebula stuff. We've had enough nebulae tonight. What did you do in Quincy?
Well, I didn't do too much in Quincy. I moved to Pittsfield, Illinois.
What did you do in Pittsfield? Moved to Peoria?
No, I had a flower shop there, a florist shop.
Oh, I see. And everything went to pot? How'd you make out there?
Well, I lost money.
Oh. That was pretty prophetic, wasn't it? What did you do when you came to California?
Well, I opened 2 flower shops out here.
Well, that was pretty smart, George. You got wiped out in one flower shop, you thought you'd do it with 2 shops. You figured you could go under much faster that way, is that it? You're a pretty shrewd cookie, George. How'd you make out the second time?
I lost twice as much.
George, I hate to say this, but in the flower business, I'd say you're a blooming idiot. Now, if you're crazy about losing money, I happen to know a little oil deal up in Wyoming. Now, this is a very attractive deal. You could get wiped out overnight. What did you do to make money, George?
Well, I worked for an airline at night, and I worked for a bank during the day.
Well, that wasn't very bright, George. If you really wanted to make money, you should have worked at the airline during the day and the bank at night. Are you sure you got the right girl, George?
I think so.
What are you doing now, George?
Well, I'm a motorcycle officer for the State Highway Patrol.
George, I think you're one of the finest men I've ever met. And if there's anything I can do for you, don't hesitate to call on me. What do you do for the Red Cross, Marjorie?
I'm a driver. We take hostesses to the hospital
Take the hostess with the mostest on the board.
to entertain the boys who are in the hospitals and can't get out. And they play games and cards, and then we take doctors to the blood mobiles and nurses' aides. And men go to different sports around town, like your football games and boxing and all that sort of thing. And we just
Well, I'm
drive
no
them
sport.
over.
Would you come to me some night? Well, seriously, you girls are doing a wonderful job. Now, how much do you get paid for all this work? There's a lot of work, isn't there?
Nothing.
This is all volunteer?
Yes.
Well, you're doing an even greater job than I thought, Marjorie. It's just
Thank you.
And if George wasn't married, I'd see what I could work up here between you two. George, let's get back to your job. For example, how did you happen to become a motorcycle cop? You
Well,
were leading a fairly comparatively honest life up to now.
I'd been interested in police work a long time, and I took a civil service exam, and I passed it. And while I was...
How fast were you going?
Well, while I was waiting for my exam to be called, my appointment, I received 4 traffic tickets in 2 weeks, and so I decided if I couldn't beat them, I better join them.
George, there's one thing that bothers a lot of motorists. Why is it you motorcycle cops always hide behind a billboard?
Well, we don't hide behind billboards unless they build them while we're sitting there. It's against regulations. We've got to stay out in the open all the time.
You say you're always out in the open?
Yes, sir.
Well, this may surprise you, but I think it's a good thing you are, George. We need you fellas. It takes a lot of courage to control all the screwballs who hit it up on the highways. And I think you're doing a great job. And it's a very dangerous job. And I want to congratulate you. And anything I said in fun. That goes to you, too. You're a couple of fine citizens. Now, in just a minute, I'm going to give you both a chance to make some money. But first, I just want to remind both of you to take a ride in the new DeSoto Fire Dome 8. You'll be as crazy about it as I am. Now, you're going to play You Bet Your Life. You beat our other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,000 question. Can't tell you how much you have to win, but Fire Dome George is going to remind our listeners.
The doctor and his partner won $313, and the secret word is chair.
Here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected state landmarks, right?
Yes, sir.
Here's your first question. How much you going to go for? Talk right up, kids.
We'll shoot the works, $20.
Shoot the works. All right. In what state do you find the famous Pikes Peak?
Colorado. Colorado.
Colorado is right.
You now have $40.
Let me go in for $1,000 tonight. How much of the $40 you going to bet this time?
Let's go $40.
Might as well.
$40.
$40. In what state do you find Bryce Canyon?
Utah.
Utah is right.
You've now climbed to $80.
Here's your third question. How much of the 80?
Shoot the works. All the way.
In what state do you find the famed Everglades?
In Florida.
Florida is right.
You now have $160.
Here's your last chance to beat the other couples. How much you going to go for?
I'll shoot the works all the way.
Shoot the works. In what state do you find the Grand Coulee Dam?
Washington. I'd say Washington.
Washington is right. Give you a good kiss.
You wind up with $320.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
We have
a real cute couple, wasn't it?
We have a young couple for you now, Groucho, who recently became parents. They volunteered from our studio audience. Mr. Gordon Walker and Mrs. Annie McWhinney Walker. Meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word and you'll win $100. It's a common word, something you use every day. Ann and Gordon Walker. Let's see, Mr. and Mrs. Walker, huh?
That's right.
And your new parents?
Uh-huh.
Well, it's a good thing you're both Walkers. It'll come in handy around 2 in the morning, huh? How old are you, Gordon?
32.
32? I thought you were about 22.
Thank you.
Wow. And Mrs. Annie McWhinney Walker, huh?
Ann.
Ann. McWhinney, eh? Was your mother frightened by a horse? What kind of a name is McWhinney?
Scotch.
Annie? Eh?
Scotch.
Oh, Scotch. Yeah. Well, what kind of Scotch are you? Domestic or imported?
Imported.
Were you born in Scotland?
No, I was born in the Isle of Man.
Oh. The Isle of Man?
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing there, you hussy?
That's just the name of the place. There are actually lots of women there.
Oh. Well, is that near Boys Town, the Isle of Man?
No, it's a tiny island between Ireland and England.
Oh. Now, Fetterman says you're new parents. How old is your child, Gordon?
We have 3 of them.
You have triplets? Well, congratulations. And how old are the little kids?
Douglas is 5, Linda is 4, and Keith is 12 weeks.
Really? That much time between them? Those triplets must have made medical history. How did you meet Gordon?
Oh, that's kind of a complicated story.
I don't doubt it. And with 3 youngsters around, it's getting more complicated all the time. Couldn't you break it down into small installments? Go ahead. How'd you meet him?
Well, it started through Gordon's boss, who was interested in stamp collecting.
Gordon's boss was interested in stamp collecting?
Uh-huh.
And now you have 3 kids? I don't know.
Well, I had a brother who was a prisoner of war. And
where was this?
He was in Libya. Gordon's boss was interested in getting a stamp from a prisoner of war. So he wrote to my brother, and he couldn't reply directly to America because it was neutral. So he wrote to Mr. Lund, that was Gordon's boss, and addressed the letter to me in Scotland. And
let's get this straight now. Where was Gordon's boss?
In Martinez, California.
He was in California. You were in Quincy. Your brother was in Libya. And you were in Scotland. And they're all collecting stamps, and now they got 3 kids. Shows you what a wonderful world we're living in. Somebody told you that 30 years ago, you'd have said they were mad. How did Gordon get involved in all this?
Well, he read one of my letters. Mr. Lund's wife.
Sneak thief, eh?
Mr. Lund's wife and myself corresponded, and Gordon saw one of my letters and was interested, and he wrote to me.
When did you 2 finally meet each other?
We met after we decided to get married.
Wasn't that rather hazardous?
Well, it wasn't any riskier than marrying a girl that I'd known.
Well, that's logical, I guess. That sounds like the right words from the father of 3 children. Now, how long did this orgy of letter writing continue?
4 years.
And I'm surprised you didn't marry the postman. You said you saw more of him than you did of Gordon. Did your family, what did they have to say about this unusual courtship?
Oh, my mother was very excited about it. My dad went around to all his friends saying, "Look what Gordon got in the mail."
Some people have all the luck. All I ever get in the mail are blotters from the telephone company. What sort of work do you do, Gordon?
Well, I'm an analytical chemist for the Shell Oil Company.
Oh. Well, has he shelled out pretty regularly? Do you know much about his chemistry work, Ann?
No, it's all double Dutch to me.
It's what?
It's all double Dutch to me.
Double Dutch, huh?
I don't understand it, but when I can't get to sleep at night, he tells me about it, and I go right to sleep.
He probably originally married her because he wanted someone to understand him. Someone to be close by his side through thick and thin. She's only there through thick, I think. And there's something that's been bothering me. If you were born in the Isle of Man, how is it you have a Scotch burr?
We moved to Glasgow when I was 3.
Oh, you went to Glasgow.
Mm-hmm.
Did you belong to Glasgow?
No.
I know a song about Glasgow, you know. Will Fife used to sing it. Did you ever hear that song?
I belong to Glasgow.
Yeah. Could you sing it? Huh? Would you sing it with me?
All right.
Can you sing?
A little.
Hasn't stopped me. Okay, here we go. I belong to Glasgow, good old Glasgow town. But there's something the matter with Glasgow, for it's going round and round. And I'm only a common old working chap, as anyone can see. But when I get a couple of drinks on a Saturday, Glasgow belongs to me. What about me? We both lost our heads in that song. You know, we may have more in common than Gordon and she had. Well, you're a nice young couple, and obviously the post office did an excellent job as Cupid. And I wish the both of you a long and a happy life together. Now it's time to play You Bet Your Life. You got to run your $20 no more than the other couples, and you'll get a chance at the $1,000 question. I can't tell you how much to win. You have to win, but George is going to remind our listeners.
The Red Cross worker and the police officer lead with $320.
Okay, here we go. Let's see how high I can build you $20. You selected the animal kingdom. Here's your first question. How much will you bet?
$19.99.5.
What do you call a male deer?
Buck.
Buck is right.
You have $39.99.5.
Now, how much of the $39.99.5 are you going to go for?
We'll save a half a cent and bet $39.99.
Thank you.
Okay. What do you call a baby horse?
A colt.
Colt is right. You have $79.98.5.
Yes. See that?
Now, how much are you going to go for? This is the third question.
We'll save a half a cent again. $79.98. That makes it, doesn't it?
Okay. What do you call a female sheep?
A ewe.
You.
Don't call it to me. Call it to you. That's right, to you. She knew that from the bunny backs of Skelton and all that.
You have $159.96.5.
Here's your last chance to be the other couples. How much will you bet?
We'll still save a half a cent.
All right. What do you call a baby bear?
A cub.
A cub is right. What do you call a baby when he isn't bear?
Cute.
Cute.
And you wind up with $319.92.5. And that means that the Red Cross girl and the police officer, with $320 in just 1 minute, get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth deal.
Too bad.
Thank you.
Fenneman, let me tell you something about used cars. Do you know you've got to be mighty careful where you buy one?
That's right, Groucho.
My advice is go to a DeSoto Plymouth dealer. He has a wide selection of popular makes and models.
From him, you know you're getting a really reliable car that'll give you plenty of good service.
That's true, George, and that's because a DeSoto Plymouth dealer has a reputation to uphold. A reputation for fair and square dealing.
So for a good used car at a fair price, easy terms, go to your DeSoto Plymouth dealers.
And when you do, tell them Groucho sent you.
Remember, wherever you see those two great names linked together, DeSoto and Plymouth, you can always be sure of a fair and square deal. Here's the Red Cross girl and the police officer, Groucho. The winning couple all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,000 question.
Well, how do you feel, Smart?
I don't know, scared.
Now, if you win this money, stop hiding behind billboards, will you?
Sure.
All right, for $1,000, I give you 15 seconds to decide on a single answer between you. Think carefully, and please no help from the audience. Here it is. America's most famous ship, Old Ironsides, actually had copper sides, which were installed and designed by a great patriot. For $1,000, who was this famous craftsman? All right, kids, what's the answer you two have decided upon?
I think it was Paul Revere.
Paul Revere is right. That's right, you win it. That's right, you win $1,000. How much in the quiz, George?
$320 in the quiz.
$1,320. Well, congratulations from the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You bet your life.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at the same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $1,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember, all dealers who sell DeSoto also sell Plymouth. Two great cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, see DeSoto Fire Dome 8 tomorrow.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. The 3 R's of safe driving are ready, reasonable, and right. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jerry Fielding. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast.
You are listening to Golden Age Radio, rumble.com/C/GAR. Brought to you by G3PL.com.
Holly cigarette program from Hollywood starring Red Skelton with Ozzie Nelson and his orchestra, Harriet Hilliard, Wonderful Smith, and yours truly, Truman Bradley. A carton of Raleigh cigarettes. And they were factory fresh, too. Their rich, full flavor closely guarded by a new, highly protective, moisture-proof wrap that's exclusive of the makers of Raleigh cigarettes. Millions enjoy Raleighs here at home every day. Enjoy their richness, smoothness, mildness. Enjoy saving valuable premium coupons. The pack with the coupon on the back, Raleigh cigarettes. Orchestra playing Pennsylvania Polka. And now we bring you Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer's brilliant young comedian, the star of our Raleigh cigarette show, Red Skelton.
Thank you very much, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Say, Truman, you gotta hide me.
Hide you?
Yeah, out in Oklahoma tonight, they made Bob Hope an Indian chief.
Well, why have I got to hide you?
Well, that guy can scalp me now, and it'll be legal.
Well, tell me, Red, is the sponsor still at your house?
Yeah, you know, he's a right guy, too. This week he organized the whole neighborhood into voluntary rationing unit.
Voluntary rationing, huh?
That's right. For instance, we put 1 pound of coffee in a 10-gallon percolator. The whole neighborhood came over for 1 cup.
Well, sounds pretty good, but wasn't it weak?
Weak? That stuff was helpless.
What else are you cutting down on, Red?
Well, I'm not using as many razor blades as I was.
Well, gee, how do you get your beard off?
Tweezers. Of course, I have to get up an hour earlier in the morning.
Well, I suppose everybody's rationing themselves voluntarily.
Yeah, I found that the British and Egypt are going in for rationing in a big way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're cutting down their opponents one by one.
Hello, Red.
Hello, Harriet. Say, what do you know about voluntary rationing?
Well, everybody I know is pulling his car, Red. How about you?
Oh, sure. You know, I got a great system for saving gas. You drive your car 1 mile, and then you push 1 mile.
Well, does it work?
Yeah, after 4 miles, they take you to the hospital, and you don't have to drive your car at all.
By the way, Red, how are your tires?
Well, not so good. The air is beginning to show through. You know, Mr. Raleigh has a grand idea for rationing gas. He takes his car up the top of Lookout Mountain and then coasts wherever he wants to go.
Well, wait a minute. How does he get the car back up?
I told him that sounded too easy. You know, my girl is cutting down riding on the Sunset bus.
Cutting down riding on the Sunset bus?
Yeah.
That doesn't save anything.
Oh, no. My girl's so fat. It takes 4 gallons for the bus driver to shift into second.
Gee, she really must be fat.
Yeah, she's so fat that I don't know what I'm laughing at. It wasn't that funny. This is the one, though. This is She is so fat that the other day she went for a walk out in the valley and a big flying fortress flew over.
What happened?
One pilot says to the other, "Hey, look, the Metropolitan Airport's hitchhiking."
Say, Red, I wanted to meet her, but I didn't get a chance.
Oh.
I had a meatless day once.
You did, Ozzy?
Yeah, why don't you come over for supper tonight, Red? Harriet's cooking a steak.
Wait a minute, Ozzy. If you have steak, how can it be meatless?
I don't know. Ask Harriet. She does it all the time.
I suppose you're cutting down on meat, Red.
Oh, sure. I've been a vegetarian for years. I eat nothing but grass.
You eat nothing but grass.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't it bother you?
No, but every time I see a girl wearing an all-wool sweater, I get a faraway look in my eye.
There were 10 little soldiers on a 10-day leave. All loved the colonel's daughter, Genevieve. Each little soldier led the other to believe that he was going home to spend his 10-day leave. Some took a taxi cab and some a train. And some bought a ticket for a southbound plane. Some took a trolley to the west side of town. The 10 little soldiers, they were homeward bound. Each took a different direction, each one in search of affection. Imagine their surprise and the shock they received when they bumped into each other calling on Genevieve. Now the 10 little soldiers went from bad to worse, 'cause 10 little sailor boys had got there first. They crowded her door like a pack of sardines when out walked Genevieve with 10 Marines.
You know, that ain't the way I heard it.
Well, how did you hear it?
Well, there were 10 little soldiers on a 10-day leave. They all loved the colonel's daughter, Genevieve. And one tried to cross the street at Hollywood and Vine. He got halfway over, and then there were 9. The next little soldier stood at Gower Street, hailed a sunset bus, and found an empty seat. He fainted from surprise and fell flat on his face, which left 8 little soldiers still in the race. Of course, that's still 7 too many.
I wonder which one will get Jenny.
Well, you'll find out. You see, 3 were captured by ladies of the USO, and 4 reported missing in a double-featured show. So the one little soldier was as proud as could be. I guess this makes Genevieve mine, said he. He went to the door, and imagine his surprise when out walked Genevieve with guess who?
Lieutenant Clark Gable?
No.
Private Hargrove?
No.
Well, then who?
Mr. 5 feet tall and he's 5 feet wide. They just gave him the rank of human tank. He's Mr. 555.
That was Ozzie and Harriet singing 10 Little Soldiers and dedicated to the United States Marines.
Say, Red, what are
Yeah?
you going to show different people doing tonight?
Well, I'll tell you, Brad, you pick the subject. Anything you say will be it.
Well, thank you, Red.
Oh.
Well, I have a letter from a loyal fan and Raleigh cigarette smoker in Irene's Beauty Shop, Mansfield, Ohio.
Yeah?
It says, why don't you visit a beauty shop some week?
What a coincidence. Just what we've been rehearsing all day. First, we find Deadeye. Yeah, a beauty shop is what helped him capture Horseface Charlie. Listen. Whoa! Whoa! Oh, come on, horse. Whoa!
That horse of yours sure is thin, Mr. Deadeye.
Yeah, he's losing weight every day. If he keeps it up, I'm going to have to feed him. Now, for the last time, horse. Whoa!
I bet you I could stop him.
Well, go ahead.
Wish I knew a cheaper way.
Yeah.
Say, Mr. Deadeye, it's too bad that Horseface Charlie got away from us.
Yeah, but I bet I know where he's a-hiding.
Whereabouts?
Yeah, well, who was his gal?
That beauty shop operator.
That's right, and I'll bet she's a-hiding him in the back room. Come on, let's go.
Wait, a beauty shop is for women only.
Yeah, that's right. I got it. We'll borrow a couple of dresses from Buckshot Annie and pretend we're women. Come on. Boy, here's Annie's house. I hope she's home.
Howdy, Deadeye. Howdy, wonderful.
Howdy, Buckshot.
Did you capture Horseface Charlie?
No, but I got a hunch that these gallows was hiding them over in that beauty shop. Now, I wonder if you could loan us a couple of dresses so I could disguise myself. Disguise myself and see if we're as confused as Rommel getting out of Egypt. So we could go in and see. What's the matter? Don't you think it would work?
Well, Deadeye, you figure. It's supposed to go in here and out there, not out all the way down. Say, do you know how to act in a beauty shop?
I do. My wife ran one.
Yeah, what happened?
She gave my money a permanent wave.
No kidding.
Yes, sir. The government froze my salary and she melted it.
Well, step into the other room and change, boys.
Yeah.
Here's a couple of wigs in there, too.
Okay. Now, let's see. I gotta have that hat, a dress, slip, shoes, stockings, and those.
Oh, Mr. Deadeye, which way does this wig go on?
Well, it's supposed to fit over your ears, I think.
This wig's got to go over my ears?
That's right.
Give me one about 3 feet wide, then.
Hey, what's this thing, wonderful?
Oh, I guess it's the thing to whip a person into shape, huh?
Yeah. It's too little, ain't it?
No. It stretches. 2 ways, I believe. You know, my gal could never get into one of them things.
Why not?
She stretches 2 ways in 5 directions.
Well, okay, I'll try to get it on.
Now, give a hard pull.
Okay. I made it. Boy, oh boy, now I know how Custer felt when those Indians was creeping up on him. Boy, does this thing fit tight. I think I got my right leg over where my left leg ought to be. Hey, now, hand me that dress. Boy, if the boys of the 74th Chemical Corps could see me now, I'll slip it on, this dress. Oh, I forgot to take my Raleigh cigarette out of my mouth. Man, how do women do it? This dress sure is tight around the kneecaps.
Oh, no, it ain't. You got on upside down.
Yeah?
And it's tight because you're so bow-legged.
Oh, well, I can fix that. There. Now, I bet I'm the only girl in the world who can cross her legs and walk at the same time. Yeah?
How you coming, Deadeye?
Great, we'll be right out.
Did you put on the dress with a peekaboo waist?
The what with which?
The peekaboo. Peekaboo.
Get away from that keyhole. Hey, how do I look, wonderful?
You look like poor Mary. Why doesn't someone tell her?
Well, come on, let's go. Well, Annie, how do I look, huh? That is all that, huh?
Deadeye, that thing that holds up your stockings is supposed to go under the dress.
Yeah?
Why, yeah, and it's supposed to hold your stockings up, not your hair down.
I was going to hang my guns on them. Well, that's that. So we capture old horse-faced Charlie. I'll split the reward with you, Buckshot. Come on, wonderful. Boy, oh boy, if we can only catch that guy. Well, here's the beauty shop. Let's go in, huh? There's nobody here but that woman sitting over there.
Yeah, ask if she's seen a man around here, but walk dainty-like.
Okay. Pardon me, miss, but... Deadeye! Horse-faced Charlie, dressed like a woman.
Well, I'll leave you girls alone.
You'll never take me alive, Deadeye. I got you covered.
Yeah?
But I'm going to give you a break. I'll count 3, and then we'll draw.
Now, wait a minute, copycat.
You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Mr. Deadeye, you shot. What happened?
I couldn't get my gun. I had it inside that tight rubber thing. Then we have Slim, the fellow from the country. He's on his way to see Daisy June, who has just opened a beauty culture studio. Well, here I am. Oh, double ugly. If rain makes flowers beautiful, why don't it on me? Do, 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 do. Boy, am I ugly. 3 times this week, my mother had to buy me back from the dog catcher. Oh, look, it's Joe's restaurant. I think I'll take a look in.
It's mine.
Oh, no, it's mine.
Oh, no, it's mine.
His coffee problem's getting serious, ain't it? Boy, I sure like to have a cup of coffee myself. I've been drinking so much tea lately, I got orange Pico bags under my eyes. So here's Daisy June's house. What does that sign say over there? Daisy June's Beauty Salon.
Why, hello, Clem.
Well, Daisy. Hey, what's she doing?
I'm running a beauty parlor. You want to get beautiful?
Yeah, but not too beautiful, because somebody's got to scare them crows out of my cornfield.
Well, what happened to your scarecrow?
Well, he looked healthier than me, so they drafted him.
Oh, Clem, you're an idiot.
I am?
Yes, you are.
Well, that's what I like about America. Everybody has the chance to make good.
You know, you look bad, Clem.
I do?
I'm going to lift your face. Sit down over here.
Okay.
Now, come on. First, sit down in the chair.
All right.
And I'll give you a haircut.
All right, but no bowls this time.
Listen, with your head, I'll use an ice cream cone. Gosh, your head really does come to a point, don't it, Clem?
It sure does. With me around, my mama hasn't had to buy an orange squeezer in 15 years.
Well, it's okay with me. I like you, Clem.
You do?
Yep. Hold still and pluck your eyebrows.
What eyebrows? Only got one eyebrow. Straight across with a U-turn in the middle.
Well, I'll pull out a few for size.
Okay.
1, 2.
Oh, them darn wild hairs. Hey, Daisy June. Look at that, my Adam's apple. They scared the stem out of it.
All right, Clem. I'll give you shampoo. You better roll up your sleeves first, though.
Okay.
Why, Clem, what's that on your arm? A vaccination?
No, that's my laundry mark.
Laundry mark?
Yeah, Mom sends me out in one piece. It's cheaper. Okay, give me the shampoo. Come on.
This is special. It's an egg shampoo.
An egg shampoo?
Come here, Thelma.
Hey, wait a minute. What's that chicken fur?
My shampoo. I use nothing but fresh eggs.
Oh.
Now put her over your head.
Okay, but what's them claws, Thelma? Double yolk.
Now for my famous shampoo. I'll just squirt it on.
Okay. No, it's in my ear. Careful here. Well, now be careful, Daisy June. That stuff kind of burns.
Oh, don't worry. A little benzene never hurt anybody. Now I'll rinse it off.
Okay.
There.
Oh, that water's so warm.
Now rub your head briskly with a towel.
Okay. There, boy.
There now. Take a look in the mirror. How do you like it?
Well, step right up and call me cue ball. Hey, that stuff wore my hair off. Daisy June, you gotta hide me.
Why?
Why, with these big ears of mine, somebody's liable to shoot me for a rabbit.
Oh, that's nonsense. Now go on home. Nobody's going to shoot you for a rabbit.
Okay. Sure, though.
What happened, Clem?
Hey, throw me a carrot, Daisy June. I want to die on a full stomach. Hello, this is J. Newton Numbskull's beauty shop. We put henna on your antenna. What? No, we don't have anything that'll smooth your hair down. No, I'm sorry. Oh, no trouble at all. Goodbye, Professor Einstein.
Say, Newt, there's no roof on your beauty shop. How come?
Oh, it isn't necessary. There's a ceiling on everything nowadays.
Look, Newt, here comes a customer.
Oh, goody.
Oh, how do you do?
Oh,
you have lovely hair, madame.
Oh, thank you. It runs in our family.
Oh.
I have mother's hair.
Gosh, ain't she cold?
Now, I have to look just right because I'm giving a bridge party.
Well, I certainly hope you'll use that handsome inlaid bridge table you get with Raleigh coupons.
Oh, of course. And also the playing cards and the frosted glassware
Oh,
set.
you get those?
Charming. And the serving tray?
Oh, yes. And I'm fixing snacks that are suggested in the big new cookbook that I got with Raleigh coupons.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, this new permanent wave I'm getting is practically a gift from Raleigh coupons.
Oh, really?
I see just what you mean. You won't find a permanent wave listed, but Raleigh coupons may be redeemed for cash, 3/4 cent apiece.
Oh.
And that adds up to some mighty handy money for extra things.
Oh, I redeem Raleigh coupons for war stamps,
Oh,
too.
ain't that nice?
Good. And here's another idea. If you're planning on giving Raleigh premiums as Christmas gifts, By all means, get your coupons and your order in early. Send them now for prompt delivery.
Oh, and that reminds me, my guests will be arriving soon.
Well, be sure to hurry so you can offer each and every one a Raleigh cigarette. Made from a choice blend of 31 richer, more golden tobaccos. Raleighs are smoother, milder, packed with flavor. One cigarette everyone enjoys.
Oh, I almost forgot. Before I go, I must get a mud pack.
And then you'll get a hot towel pack.
And everybody gets the pack with a coupon on the back, Raleigh cigarettes.
And then we have a lady and her little boy. She has an appointment at the beauty shop, and he's going along to watch the overhauling. So, Harriet, you be my mother, and I'll be the mean little kid.
Hurry, Junior. Now, I don't want to be late.
Hey, Mummy, why you always go to the beauty shop so often,
Well, so I can look like Sweet 16.
Sweet 16? Boy, you more like Sour 37. Oh, look, here's me old pal Robert. Here, Robert, come here, Robert.
Now,
come here.
Junior, don't pet the dog.
Why not?
Well, he might bite you and get sick or something. Oh, look at that darling dress in the window.
Yeah, I thought you were in a hurry.
Oh, I wonder how much that dress is. I wish I had it.
Reach in, Mummy, reach in.
Good heavens, what happened to my window?
Huh?
What happened to my window?
Cheap glass.
Somebody has broken my window.
He sounds like one of the free bears. The dumb one.
I'm so sorry, mister. Here's $10 to take care of the damage.
Yeah.
Junior, why do you break things so?
I don't know. I guess I'm just a natural-born scrapmaker.
Well, here's the beauty shop. Now try and behave, will
Okay,
you?
okay.
Ah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I have an appointment.
You have an appointment?
Yeah, too bad she ain't got a face, ain't her?
Junior!
My, he's a cute little boy, isn't he?
Yes, I is. I take after me pop.
You do?
Yeah, what you doing tonight, babe?
Junior, tell me, does your father really act like that?
I could answer that, but it would only lead to anything in it for me.
Yes, a spanking unless you behave.
Okay, I'll be good. I look at these magazines. Hey, where's your new Esquire? I think I'll look around the joint. Mummy!
What's the matter, Junior?
Hey, I just seen a lady in a fireless cooker.
Oh, Junior. That's a steam cabinet.
Well, you better get me a fork because I think she's done.
All right, madam. First, you want a shampoo. I'll rinse your hair with this nozzle.
Here, let me do it.
No, Junior. Not down my back, Junior!
All right, sorry, Mummy, but there was a fly on your neck and I drowned him.
And me, too. You can go ahead now, miss.
Hey, Mummy, where are you? Mummy, I want my mummy. Or Lorna Turner.
He doesn't recognize me with my hair all wet. Here I am, Junior.
Is that you? Oh, brother, a GI haircut with a DOPE face.
Junior, that's no way to talk about your mother. After all, does your father talk that way about me?
He really asking for it today, eh?
Now, I've had just about enough of you. Sit down.
Oh, you hit me. You hit me. You broke me with a jaw. You broke me with a jaw.
I didn't hurt your jaw at all.
You mean me tongue is always laid out on the floor like that?
Will you please go and sit down?
No, I will sit on your lap and give you a kiss because you me mummy. Yeah.
Junior, you're in the way. Maybe you'd better jump down.
Will you catch me?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait until I turn around, will you?
Now she tells me. Hey, I will let you girls alone and just mender around the place a bit. Well, look at them big bottles. I wonder if that's perfume or hair tonic. I will reach up and see. Woo! It's perfume, all right.
Junior, was that you? Meow. Oh, that darn cat is the clumsiest animal I ever saw.
It always works! It always works. Hey, Mummy, I found a broken bottle, but I will fix it.
That's a good boy. Junior, can that heavenly smell be you?
Yeah? You little stinker is now Chanel number 5.
Junior, did you break that bottle?
Yeah, but I can fix it.
That's very sweet of you.
Yeah, today.
Do you always go around fixing things?
You don't know me very well. That's his fault.
There's some glue over there.
Yeah?
Let him fix the bottle.
I can tell by his expression he's sorry.
Yeah. Now, she ought to know better than that.
Junior, you'd better sit down and leave that bottle alone.
No, I want to fix the bottle.
Mother said no.
Well, now, if that's the way you want it, Junior said yes. Now, you let me fix the bottle, or I will tell.
You'll tell what?
I will tell everybody you used to work in a burlesque show.
Oh, I did not.
Oh, no? Hey, Queenie, you're on next.
Okay, turn on the purple light.
Junior, if you want to do something,
What?
run over and get the hair lacquer out of that cabinet.
Okay, that's for you. I will do it. I will do that. Oh, the lacquer, the lacquer. Well, here's the cabinet. Let's see now. Which one's the lacquer? Maybe this is it. Glue. Hair lacquer. This ought to be pretty good, eh, folks? Well, I could mix them together. Your mummy wouldn't have to comb her hair no more. If I do, you know what'll happen. No, I've been getting too many whippings lately. I won't do it. Here you is, lady. Here.
Fine.
Yeah.
Now I'll spray it on.
Spray it on good. Spray it on good.
And then I pat it down in place.
Pat it down. Go ahead.
There. Ow! Oh, I can't get my hands off. They're stuck.
All right, so I changed my mind.
Say, boys, put this in your pipe and smoke it.
Pipe smokers, enjoy the peaceful relaxation of a pipe load of Sir Walter Raleigh. Sir Walter Raleigh gives contentment, yes, and more. For now, Sir Walter Raleigh comes to you in a brand new service uniform. Same familiar orange and black design, but free of metal. The valuable tin has gone to help win the war. Of course, the new package still contains Sir Walter Raleigh's exclusive blend of choice burleys, fully protected, cured, and aged to perfection to bring out all the full tobacco richness, the nut-like flavor. Tonight, try the quality pipe tobacco of America, Sir Walter Raleigh. Remember, we'll all be back again next Tuesday at the same time. Red Skelton, Ozzie Nelson and his orchestra, Harriet Hilliard, Wonderful Smith, and yours truly, Truman Bradley. Meanwhile, listen to the Tommy Dorsey Show tomorrow night over most of these same stations. Until next Tuesday, then.
This is Red Skelton saying goodbye now. Thanks for listening, and congratulations to the United States Marines on your 167th birthday. And we'd like you to know that every American is proud of what you've done to make this birthday what it is. Good night.
Red Skelton is put on this program through the courtesy of the Metro Golden Mayer Studios. This program has been broadcast to the armed forces overseas and has come to you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
You have been listening to Golden Age Radio, GAUBY.com. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.
I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Old Time Radio Research Group for their remarkable efforts in preserving and archiving the captivating world of old time radio programs. Their dedication to safeguarding these precious audio gems ensures that future generations can relish the enchanting stories, music, and entertainment of the past. Their invaluable contribution allows us to step back in time and experience the magic of radio history firsthand. Their link is in the description below.